is Thursday, February 29, 2024. Coming up on the Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network, we are live here at the National Cares Mentoring Gala in New York at Pier 60. We'll be talking to a number of folks here, including founder Susan Taylor, as well as Tina Knowles, Courtney B, Vance, and others as well. And so we'll be carrying this program live as well. On today's show, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, he testifies before Congress, gets grilled by Republicans regarding his hospitalization. Also, the Supreme Court they're going to hear the case of Donald Trump regarding immunity that's not sitting well with lots of different people. We're going to talk about why Clarence Thomas should recuse himself from this case as well. Also, Trump has been thrown off the ballot in Illinois, and so we'll discuss that. Plus, Tennessee Republicans continue to force local control. They actually are advancing a bill to say local people can't even study or discuss the issue of reparations. Plus, Alabama lawmakers vote to restore access to in vitro fertilization. Has been a huge problem after the Supreme Court ruled that to be unconstitutional. Folks, it's time to bring the funk of Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funky, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin.
folks, Roland Martin here, broadcasting live from Pier 60. We're here at the National Cares Mentoring Gala that's taking place here. And so folks are already coming in for the reception. The program is going to start in about an hour. We're going to be broadcasting and streaming it right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered and on the Black Start Network. And so you're not going to miss any of that. Kenny Lattimore performing. It's being hosted by Sherry Shepard. They're honoring a number of different people. We're going to be hearing from a number of folks that will be coming through here as well, including founder Susan Taylor. So we look forward to that. But let's talk about what's happening in the news. Today on Capitol Hill, Pentagon Secretary Lloyd Austin, Secretary of Defense, he testified before Congress. Remember, he was hospitalized in December with prostate cancer. Did not tell the White House, did not tell members of Congress, caused a huge brouhaha here in D.C. He did apologize for that, but it didn't stop Republicans from grilling him. Here is some of today's testimony.
I know that Congress has some legitimate concerns about some issues around my illness. So let me start by thanking all those who've offered me well wishes after my recent cancer treatment and hospital stay. I very much appreciate your kind words, and I received world-class medical care at Walter Reed. And I want to again publicly thank my doctors and the outstanding nursing staff. They expect me to be completely cured of my prostate cancer, which was caught early. And I continue to recover, and now I want to be very clear. There was never any lapse in authorities or in command and control. At all times, either I or the Deputy Secretary was in a position to conduct the duties of my office, but we did have a breakdown in notifications during my January stay at Walter Reed, and that is sharing my location and why I was here. And back in December, I should have promptly informed the President, my team in Congress, and the American people of my cancer diagnosis and subsequent treatment. Again, we did not handle this right, and I did not handle it right. As you know, I've apologized, including directly to the President, and I take full responsibility. I'm also taking responsibility for some institutional changes to make sure that this cannot happen again. It's not enough for me to pledge to do better. The system must be postured better to make the appropriate notifications when authorities are transferred. And my staff must be ready to carry all of this out. But let me be clear, I never intended to keep my hospitalization from the White House or from anybody else.
The 30-day review summary lays a lot of blame at the feet of your staff. It seems that would appear, correct? For the breakdown in the process? You've told us that you are responsible, but the 30-day review seems to blame your staff.
Well, the 30-day review pointed out that that there were some missteps, but there was never any ill intent or an intent to obfuscate. So,
1 year ago, you told me in this hearing room you had no regrets about what happened in Afghanistan. Do you regret what happened here?
I've said that we didn't get this right, Congressman, and we put measures in place to ensure that the notification process is improved going forward.
Mr. Secretary, who will be held accountable?
The transfer of authority was
who will be held accountable for this? This embarrassment.
Again, I take full responsibility, and we put measures in place to address the shortcomings.
Are you surprised the President didn't call for your resignation? I'm surprised, but are you surprised that he didn't call for your resignation?
The President has expressed full faith and confidence in me.
So you're not surprised that he didn't call for your resignation. Is it typical that the President would go 3 days without talking to his Secretary of Defense? Is that typical, or is that a regular posture? Do you usually go days without talking to the commander?
I mean, that can happen. It depends on whether or not the President's on travel. If I'm on travel, there are times when we do go days without direct communication.
So the big issue for me here is either the President is that aloof or you are irrelevant. Which one is it, Mr. Secretary? That the President would go 3 days without knowing that his Secretary of Defense is not on the job?
It's neither. The President is not aloof, and I am. I participate in all of the.
Let me ask you this. On January 2nd, while you were in the hospital, President Biden was vacationing in the Caribbean. Your deputy, who the President didn't even know had operational control, was on a beach in Puerto Rico. What kind of message does that send to our adversaries?
The key piece is that, number one, the deputy has the ability to, she has access to secure communications. She has the ability to participate in decision-making processes from wherever she is.
Mr. Secretary, our adversaries should fear us, and what you've done has embarrassed us. And let me sum this up by this. A leading Chinese propaganda outlet said that what happened to you exposed, quote, internal chaos. A leading Russian propaganda outlet said that your disappearance, quote, effectively compromised the
Gentleman's time's expired. Chair now recognizes the chair now recognizes the ranking member.
First of all, let me say it is not.
All right, folks, let's introduce our panel. Reese Colbert, host of Sirius XM Radio, coming to us out of D.C. Dr. Greg Hart, Department of Afro-American Studies at Howard University, out of D.C. Law Victoria Burke, of course, with Black Press USA out of Arlington, Virginia. Lauren, I'll start with you. Those last questions by Republicans are beyond idiotic. This notion that somehow we didn't have communication, what would our adversaries think, and why in the hell would a member of Congress be even quoting a Russian propaganda outlet and a Chinese propaganda outlet? Isn't that what they do? Propaganda?
Part is cozy with Russia, is oddly cozy with Russia. Even more amusing there. And let's be clear, I mean, the secretary made some mistakes with regard to the notification when he was dealing with his prostate cancer. He should have handled that differently. Obviously, he acknowledged that. And obviously, in doing so, he did something that we rarely hear in Washington, which was a full apology, complete with the pronouncement that it was his responsibility. That you almost never hear that anymore in Washington. So at least he did that. But it was a mistake how he handled it. There's no doubt about that. It is crazy though to watch a hearing. I mean, at least Congressman Banks actually has served in the Navy. But to watch, and thank goodness you didn't show this, the Matt Gaetz portion where, you have Matt Gaetz questioning a 4-star general. It is just laughable. I mean, it is just laughable. These people aren't even in the same league as somebody like the secretary. So at least he has, he's acknowledged this. But typical with regard to Republican messaging, they want to stretch this out as much as they can. This story is over. It ended weeks ago. But they want to stretch it out and talk about something else because they can't win on these other issues.
Of course they do. And Reese, I'm sitting here laughing at them because, one, you are talking about a retired 4-star general. We also, this notion that, the president was in the Caribbean and your deputy was on the beach in Puerto Rico. We literally have capabilities to keep the government running on Air Force One in the air. So this whole deal of like, what will our adversaries think? They should fear us. They do.
I mean, ain't nobody gonna try with us like that, trust and believe, because the same little intelligence they have tells them that we ain't the ones that you really want to play them games with. What really weakens our position is Republicans portraying us as so damn weak. As Republicans portraying us as a nation, or falsely portraying us as a nation that is run by a handful of people, as opposed to the fact that we have a deep and broad infrastructure that is widely dispersed throughout the country and with many intelligence capabilities that keeps our national security pretty damn safe. And so I think the notion of quoting Chinese propaganda, which propaganda is not credible, and Russian propaganda is also not credible, just shows how incredibly stupid Republicans are and how little they have to work with. But let's not act like Lloyd Austin pulled a Kate Middleton, who hasn't been seen for 3 months. Who knows what's going on with her? I mean, he was in the hospital. He had prostate cancer. He took some calls, probably was on some Zooms, and went on about his business. He acknowledged that he did have some wrongdoing. But shit, nobody died, so what's the problem? Okay, like, come on. We have bigger fish to fry than that.
Right, and the reality is he screwed up. Okay, he screwed up.
Yeah.
We'll discuss this, but here's the thing, Greg, that I think is critically important, and that is this here. When you heard the Republican going, "Are you surprised the president didn't call your resignation?" He should have said, "No, hell no." Here's the reality: 3 years into Trump, all kind of people got fired, resigned, got run off. The thing that I keep talking about why you must reelect Biden-Harris is because we've had a no-drama presidency. I can't remember the last administration where you did not have some high-level drama among cabinet secretaries and low-level folks. And so this has been a drama-free presidency, and it goes to show you a level of competence when it comes to Biden-Harris that we did not see with Trump. And remember, you saw more other stuff even in the first term of Obama. That's been a critical need that we had after 4 years of chaos. So for this to be the only blip, that ain't bad.
But even if there were no blips, it would be irrelevant. Competence isn't the issue here. Policy isn't the issue here. Congressman Kahana out of California asked Secretary Austin how many Palestinian women and children have been killed, and the Secretary of Defense said that about 25,000. And then when he asked how many munitions has the United States given Israel, and also he made note at that moment that the United Nations has said that arming Israel now could be considered a war crime, and the Secretary of Defense didn't know the number, and Ro Khanna told him 21,000 munitions have been given to the killers in Israel as they slaughter the Palestinian people. In other words, it's not about ideology, it's not about competence. The snot-nosed Jim Banks from the Indiana 3rd is what it's about. It's about politics. This punk white nationalist who has filed to run in the United States, the seat in Indiana, the Senate seat being vacated by Mike Brown, this punk white nationalist was one of 20 punk white nationalist congressmen in the United States Congress who signed a resolution saying that Muriel Bowser should scrape up the Black Lives Matter signature there in the street, really in front of your studio, Roland. That should be taken up because Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. This punk white nationalist, Jim Banks, asked Indiana University to detail the evidence of anti-Semitism on its campus when there has been no evidence of anti-Semitism. That's because this punk white nationalist, Jim Banks, is a hardcore conservative Christian who believes that the war must take place in Israel so that Jesus can come back. This is not a serious man. This is about politics. He's running for Senate. He's trying to score points. He wants to use Lloyd Austin as a punching bag to tell his punk white nationalist voters in the punk white nationalist state of Indiana that this punk white nationalist can be trusted to enact a punk white nationalist agenda in the federal legislature. It had nothing to do with competence, nothing to do with ideology.
Indeed, indeed. All right, hold tight 1 second. We come back. I want to talk about the Supreme Court taking up this Trump immunity case and why it's important for Clarence Thomas to recuse himself. We know he doesn't have the guts or the credibility to actually do that. We'll discuss that. Plus, we'll be chatting with Susan Taylor and others here. The National Cares Mentoring Gala here in New York City. We're here on the red carpet. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network. Back in a moment.
Check this out. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are investing a record $7 billion into HBCUs. Billions for campus improvements, grants, and debt relief. Billions more for HBCUs. Endless possibilities for us.
I'm Faraji Muhammad, live from LA. And this is The Culture. The Culture is a two-way conversation. You and me. We talk about the stories, politics, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So join our community every day at 3 p.m. Eastern and let your voice be heard. Hey, we're all in this together. So let's talk about it and see what kind of trouble we can get into. It's The Culture. Weekdays at 3, only on the Black Star Network.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind $100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.
Hey, what's up? Geek Tony in the place to be. Got kicked out your mama's university, creator and executive producer of Fat Tuesdays, an air hip-hop comedy. But right now, I'm rolling with Roland Martin, unfiltered, uncut, unplugged, and undamn believable. You hear me?
All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered here on the Black Star Network. We're live with National Cares Mentoring Gala. Folks are walking along the red carpet. We'll be chatting with some people in a little bit later. So we continue our show. Supreme Court will be taking up the Trump immunity claim April 22nd. Now, what's idiotic about this is that they're waiting 2 months. That makes no sense whatsoever. But the real question is, why hasn't Clarence Thomas recused himself when his wife was one of the people who was standing with Donald Trump as an insurrectionist on January 6th? That issue right there, Reese, is a problem. And here's the deal. The way these rules are written, only the Supreme Court justice themselves can decide whether they should recuse themselves. This is a problem. The Supreme Court, unlike the executive branch, unlike the legislative branch, pretty much can do whatever the hell they want to. This is a fundamental problem, and what they have done is they have basically rewarded Donald Trump, because what we now know is you likely are not going to have that trial before the election, and that's a damn shame.
Right. Let me start off by saying, fuck the illegitimate Supreme Court. Okay, let me start there. But I have to also acknowledge that Clarence Thomas and the Republican conservative right-wing stooges that Trump put on the Supreme Court when he stole two justices, basically one from the Obama administration and one from, and using the same rules that disgraceful Mitch McConnell, who's stepping aside now, should not have gotten Amy Coney Barrett on there. But they understand the assignment. They're not there for the good of the country. They're not there to be nonpartisan. They're there to enact a white nationalist agenda. The reality is, in this case, Trump can run, but he can't hide. This is one case where he can have immunity in, but the fact that he's racked up so many damn charges, like a degenerate criminal that he is, there's only so much that they can do. So maybe this is their way of kind of paying their penance and trying to sit up there and show some loyalty to the person who got them on the bench. Or maybe they'll kick him in the ass and now say, psych, you're not exempt from this, and try to deter him from even more extreme behavior should he win in 2024. I doubt that's the thought process behind it, but I think we have to come to a point now where we acknowledge that the Supreme Court is not a legitimate institution as long as we have those Republican justices who are able to basically upend our citizenship while protecting a degenerate criminal ex-president like Donald Trump.
And here's the deal, Lauren. All of these people assume that, because the D.C. Circuit made their rulings, Supreme Court would not pick this case up. But they did. This also shows the ineffectiveness and the fecklessness of Merrick Garland. He sat on his hands for a year. This should have been one of the first things that he did coming in, and that delay is where we're also here right now, and that's also part of the problem. Democrats do not understand how hard Republicans are willing to fight to hold on to power. They keep playing like there are some rules of engagement. There are no rules for the Republicans.
Yeah, and how did we get Merrick Garland? We got Merrick Garland because Barack Obama wanted to put him on the Supreme Court inexplicably to make Mitch McConnell feel good. And then Joe Biden puts him in the position of Attorney General to make Merrick Garland feel good when he should have picked Doug Jones or Andrew Cuomo or somebody else, or Javier Becerra. And so then Merrick Garland waits until Benny Thompson's January 6th committee, for some reason, waits until after that, which of course he didn't have to wait until after that. So Merrick Garland is a complete disaster. That is a known fact. That ship is completely sailed. And that is the reason why we're at this moment. I don't know that anybody expected that this was going to be resolved before the election anyway. But now with the Supreme Court deciding to wait 2 months on the question of whether or not a president of the United States is above the law, effectively the question here, and Greg will correct me if I'm wrong, is whether or not the president, because he's the president, is subject to the same laws as everybody else. Well, that's an interesting question. You need to go over that. The Supreme Court needs to go over that. Apparently so. So obviously this court is acting and moving in a political way. But again, I don't know that we had expected that these cases would be resolved before the election anyway. So I'm not sure it made that much of a difference. But obviously the delays by Merrick Garland and now the court make it the case that obviously this won't be resolved before the election.
Control room, do me a favor, pull up the tweet from Eric Holder. Greg, I want to read this. This is what Eric Holder tweeted last night. There's no cavalry coming, no miracle solution, no saviors. In the end, we, the American people, not any of our institutions, have to save our democracy by voting in defense of that democracy this fall. We are the cavalry. Responsibility is ours. You know, I was on, I don't even want to name this idiot. I call her Bad Lace Front. She's one of these loud mouths on YouTube. And you know what, matter of fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. You've got loud mouths like this dude, and Philip Doom, Jason Black, Philip Scott, Vicky Dillard, all these fools who sit here and go, oh no, y'all talking about voting, telling folks not to vote. These idiots do not understand what these folks plan on doing. They have no idea what Project 2025 is. They have no idea what they're going to unleash on black people. And Eric Holder is right. The only way to shut this down is to hand Donald Trump another big L.
Absolutely. And you know, statements like that from the former Attorney General probably should remind us of why there was talk that he did not want to return to the Attorney General's office in the second Obama term. And of course, eventually he did, and Loretta Lynch came in. You know, I'm not going to put this on Barack Obama, because if people by now don't understand what Barack Obama was and what he wasn't, then perhaps we should just go to school another day. You might have to put another show on the network, Roland, to walk through the politics of that. But yes, one of the greatest affirmative action hires of the 21st century, Merrick Garland, has proven that once again white men fail up. And you're right, Lauren. I mean, think about this: the idea that the Supreme Court, first of all, would take this case. There are 179 circuit court judges in this country. Jeff Toobin just put an article in the New York Review of Books, of all people, talking about that Fifth Circuit, and he mentioned that Trump got confirmation of 54 circuit and 174 district judges, and to date, Biden has confirmed 40 circuit judges, 134 district judges, and has 22 nominees pending, including some nominees being held up by some of these white nationalists in the southern states. This is where we see the value for the white nationalists of making sure that agents of chaos like these YouTube warriors are amplified and others are put in the stream so that people will not vote. Why? Because they have seized and have control of the federal judiciary. This should not have gone to the Supreme Court. But when the Supreme Court took this case, and we don't know whether it was 4 that voted or more that voted to take the case, the fact that they said that the reason they took the case, one of the reasons they take the case, is because there's potential irreparable harm to Trump if this isn't resolved. What's the irreparable harm? That you can't be president of the United States again? It is so nakedly political, as Reese and Lauren have said. It is so nakedly political that they should be ashamed, except as we see there is no shame, there is no cavalry coming. And if you don't think these people aren't lining up to run a Boston, don't vote and get ready for it. But don't say, as Roland Martin always said, we didn't try to tell you.
That's right. And speaking of that, Greg, today the NAACP LDF sent out a tweet specifically talking about the number of folks that have been confirmed. And let me pull this up here because I was going to actually post it there on social media. And it's the kind of information that people need to understand. Okay, you're seeing more and more federal judges, and a significant number of them actually the leadership conference on civil rights. And so give me 1 second. There we go. Give me 1 second. So I want to give folks this number so they can understand what is happening around us. I think a lot of us are confused. The tweet said, the Senate just confirmed Judge Julie Sneed, making her the third black woman to serve as a lifetime judge of the Middle District of Florida. POTUS has now appointed 57 black lifetime judges, including 36 black women. This matters. So Reese, for all these simple Simons out here who go, oh, ain't nothing happened with black people. These are federal judges for life. These are people who will have the power to do the exact same thing these MAGA judges are doing. And anybody black out there who says that federal judges do not matter, they have got to be outside of their minds.
Right. I mean, look at what kind of damage the federal judiciary has been able to do, and even some of these state judiciaries have been able to do under a democratically led administration. I mean, affirmative action gone, Roe v. Wade gone, Alabama. Now, a fetus is a person. I don't know when last time you saw a fetus walking down the street. So I think that people just have a real lack of understanding of how to connect the dots and how important the judiciary is, at least on the Democratic side. Now, the Republicans have been playing this long game for generations, and they are winning unless something is done, pack the courts or some other, measures are put in place to try to reverse this, to continue to hold on to it regardless of what the federal legislature looks like in terms of the makeup of Democratic versus Republican. But can I just add on about Eric Holder's point? I think that a lot of people are talking about there's no cavalry coming and what's to come in 2025. The shit is with us right now. I don't know what's not clicking with people. If y'all looking for another storm, the Capitol Civil War type of thing, people taking up arms, you're not going to necessarily find it to that extreme. But what I do think is extreme is, like I just mentioned, what's happening in Alabama, what's happening across the country with these fetal personhood things, what's happening across the country in terms of rolling back criminal justice reform, what's happening across the country in terms of rolling back things on education, on actually stripping you of your citizenship by removing people that you have elected from those positions at the state level, Greg Abbott, Ron DeSantis, and doing all those things. And so every single Republican-led state, and there are only 17 states in this country that have a Democratic trifecta, you see what's to come even more on a national level if they get back into power. And the thing about it is, when somebody shows you who they are, believe.
And I'll say this here before I got to go to break, and that is this here. Senator Dick Durbin needs to get off his behind and stop letting this blue sip stuff happen. Democrats may not control the Senate in January or the presidency. They better be confirming every judge they can right now. Going to a break. We come back. We'll be live from the National Cares Mentoring Gala red carpet. Got some folks I'll be chatting with, including Ken Lattimore. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Back in a moment.
You heard why we're marching, and it's really a launch. It's not even a march. We're launching.
That's right.
A 42-week campaign. March the 2nd at 10 o'clock in Raleigh and 33 other state capitals and the District of Columbia. This is a historic move to mobilize the most powerful untapped block of voters in this country. Right. Poor and low wealth voters who make up 87 million votes. And it's never been tried before. Never been tried before in history. At the same time, the same message, same focus. And when that power turns loose, they will not be able to figure out the political calculus. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to shake things up. I'm ready to get up out of the valley. I'm ready for God to put his spirit on us. I'm ready to be used to change this nation. And what we're saying is, can't we come together? Can't we come together around an agenda? You ain't got to like everything about Reverend Barbara. You don't have to like everything about Sangria. You don't have to like everything about Long Choir. But can we come together and say, it's time to end poverty as the fourth leading cause of death? It's time to have $15 and a living wage indexed with inflation. So every time inflation goes up, the minimum wage goes up. It's time to have health care for all. It's time to fully fund public education. Can't we come together? It's time to protect women's right to women's health. It's time to have affordable housing for everybody. It's time to stop the proliferation of guns. Ain't no way folk ought to be able to have more guns than they have food, more guns than they have meat on their table. That makes no sense. Isn't it time for division to be ended and love to take over? Can't we organize around that? Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't need to like everything about you, but can't we organize for power? Can't we stand for justice? Can't we love everybody for just a little while? Can't we come up out of the valley? Can these bones live?
All right, folks, we're here at the National Cares Men in Gala in New York City, and so I'm going to sit here and chat with a couple of people. Where did Kenny go? So how you going? Stay right there. Slide it. Step up. And so, of course, Tobias here. Looking all clean. Looking all clean and everything. Treat me like a brother.
Great to see you, man. Great to say I ain't seen you in a minute. What you say?
I said, looking all clean, the brown.
Absolutely. That's something I might have to come over to the home and borrow from you, man.
Well, you know, I got a couple outfits.
Yeah, absolutely. I pay attention to.
Obviously, folks are here to support National Cares Men in Gala, and they've done phenomenal work, really, on providing mentors to a lot of people all across the country since its inception.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the children are our future. What will happen if we don't feed them correctly, if we don't feed their mind, their body, their spirit correctly? So, you know, I'm very, very, very pleased to be here. Pleased to see you. Jessica Care Moore, well, her fabulous self is here looking gorgeous.
I'm honored to be here for, I think, the 7th year in a row, maybe. I've been doing the gala for many years, and it means a lot to me because, like Susan would say, we have to go get our babies because nobody else cares about them the way we do.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm here.
All right, glad to see both of you. I appreciate it. All right, thanks a bunch. Here we go. Step on in, Mr. Clean. How you doing, baby? You all good?
Good to see you, my brother.
Yes, sir. So what's happening?
Man, I am so excited about being here. This is such a organization that's just dear to my heart. Mentoring has been dear to my heart, and to think that this CARES organization has brought together so many resources for us to just grow and be better and stronger at what we give to our kids and probably each other in our community. So I'm excited to be here.
For you growing up, who were your mentors?
Wow. See, I had a great bonus dad. Because my parents divorced when I was 2, and my dad is a great part of my life too. I want to make sure that's clear. But I had a bonus dad too who taught me a lot of things about life. There's a guy named Frank Wilson who's a pastor who, as a grown man, I needed, you know, a lot of times we think it's just about kids, but I needed mentors all through my entire life, and I still have mentors to this day. But Frank Wilson was a great pastor. We know his daughters. Well, you guys that are listening may know his daughters because one of his daughters is Fawn Weaver, who's Uncle Nearest, and he has 5 amazing daughters, and he has a son as well, and still found the time to pour in my life. I mean, he was one that would just pick me up and say, "Let's go fishing," and it was out there on the lake fishing that you got your best life lessons. He walked me through my divorce. I mean, just being real. So you all know that was about 10 years ago in my life. I still needed mentors to help me to just guide through some rough areas.
Well, I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. So when we talk about mentors, it's not a question of just if you were a child. The reality is there are people who you can bounce things off of, people, and they're not necessarily in your sphere of influence, in the area that you're in.
Absolutely.
And so that's the other thing.
That can give you different perspectives on life. So this is so important, and if there's anything that I see this originally happening at this organization, and that is equipping people so that we're able to deal with different traumas and things that folks have gone through. Because a lot of times we think we know. I don't know, we think we know other people's experiences, but to have people help to train and make that mentorship even stronger, I think it's going to be a big important part of this organization.
All right, we're looking forward to you singing tonight, brother.
Thank you. I got a lot of love, of love to sing about. So.
All right, we appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. Y'all, Kitty Lattimore there. So in a second, we're going to chat with Sherri Shepherd, of course, with her wonderful daytime talk show, which she's been killing the game. And so, matter of fact, John, while we're waiting on Sherri, we'll holler at my homeboy, John Murray, always showing him some love. He's executive producer of the Sherri Shepherd Show. What's up, man?
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were an alpha.
Well, sometimes you gotta let them know.
You look good, man.
I breathe likewise.
It's a wonderful night to be here celebrating mentorship.
Indeed.
The iconic Susan Taylor.
The mentorship, I was talking with Kenny, that it happens through one's whole life. And even in the job that you have, there were people who played critical roles who were mentoring you to accept this responsibility.
Yeah, there were 4 people. The late Heather Gray, who was the showrunner at The Talk. Twitch, who was an executive producer at Ellen. The late, great Bill Getty, who I met through Sherri Shepherd at The View. Him and Barbara Walters started The View. I'm tongue-tied tonight. And Kat McKenzie, who is the executive producer of GMA3. I worked on that show. It was my first gig in 2021 when the world was opening back up after the pandemic. And when I went on this journey with Sherri, I needed to talk to people who were working in the space, and they all helped me very much, man.
And see, what people don't understand is there are also folks who are in your space who you talk, bounce up. And people don't understand the conversations that we have because everything ain't always rosy in this business.
No, it's not. And I have to say, you've been a great mentor to me, man. You're somebody, not just me, but black men and women in this business call for advice, direction, perspective. You've kept a lot of us from jumping off the ledge and saving ourselves when we were about to be in trouble. And so I appreciate you for the role that you play, because adults need mentors too, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Baby, it's always good to see you. I'm about to chat with your girl in a second. Y'all been killing it with the show.
Man, the ratings are good. The demo is excellent. The folks are watching, and we're having a good time.
All right, John, I appreciate it. All right, then. So that's John Murray, executive producer of the Sherri Shepherd Show. About to grab Sherri in just a second. She's sitting here taking some photos right now. We got other people who are coming down. I saw recorded by our Courtney B. Vance for a second, so we'll have to grab him. What's going on, baby? What's happening? Did you and Kenny Lattimore exchange emails with the color scheme?
Okay, and Courtney Vance. He is on blue as well. I don't know what is going on, but we are the blue family.
Absolutely. Y'all let everybody else know.
I know. I'm loving this.
What's going on?
Nothing. I'm very excited to be here. I'm just like, Susan Taylor called me, and I just couldn't say anything but yes, especially when she told me the mission for the love of our children. So I was like, you know what, our kids are not being protected. Our little brown girls and our brown boys, they're not being protected, and it is up to us. If they can't look to us to protect them and help them get out of the trauma and this generational curse of poverty and self-esteem, low self-esteem, who they gonna look to?
Now, you know that's how that call went. The call went, Sherri, February 29th,
yes.
7 p.m.
February 29th, 7 p.m. You said,
and you were like, yes. That's all Susan said.
That's all. You know when Susan Taylor calls you? I mean, first of all, I've been reading Essence for I don't know how long. When Susan Taylor calls and says, hello, this is Susan Taylor, you drop the phone and you go, oh, whatever you want.
Absolutely. First of all, show's going great.
Thank you, Roland. I'm trying really hard. I'm pretty serious about the art of funny. So
yeah, I mean, no, but funny. I mean, in a job. But again, you never gave up on saying, I can do this. Y'all don't think so, but I can do this.
You know what? It's so funny trying to convince people that you can do what you dreamed about for 30-something years, 23 years. And I'm so glad I'm glad that I got it now, because I understand the assignment. I understand exactly when I walk out that door what I'm supposed to be bringing. So it's so not about me. In my 20s, it would have been about me. But now it's like, no, it's about what am I bringing? How am I being a vessel to show people that side of God that is love, light, laughter, and fun.
And then when Oprah said, here's the baton, you done lost your mind.
I'm still like, I still call and go, is this baton real? So I'm very, the fact that Oprah even turned down other shows to come on to my show meant a lot. And to have her as a mentor, you know, I got these women, Gayle King, Oprah, Robin Roberts, Whoopi Goldberg. You know, you can't beat these women as mentors for a talk show.
Always good to see you, darling. Love you, baby.
You too, bro.
All right, God. That's Sherry Shepherd, host of the Sherry Shepherd Show. We got Kefra Burns here, of course. He is a husband of Susan Taylor, a bad brother in his own right, doing his thing, doing amazing things. And so I'm going to grab him in a second. And so let me grab Kefra right here. Looking clean, my brother.
Thank you.
So let me explain something. So y'all know every time, y'all know how y'all black women are. So y'all see a good-looking brother, y'all tell the wife, oh, baby, you're doing a great job. And when you see a good-looking wife, the husband don't get no credit. I always give Kefra credit for Susan looking 50 years old, even though she's 75. So I always give it to you.
That's all.
No. You got something to do with that, too.
I try to take care of her. You know what the community would do to me?
No, damn that. I'm going to get it. If sisters always trying to get a woman credit, I'm going to get a husband some credit.
Give me a little bit.
I'm going to give you a little bit.
You know, the one to keep the beat.
Yes,
That's
sir.
Right.
Man, you've been on this ride with Susan. What has it been like to see go from idea to this?
This started out, we were on vacation someplace trying to figure out what are we going to do. This was after Hurricane Katrina. And we were on the beach trying to figure out what can we do, you know, and we had the Essence Music Festival. We said we can't go back to New Orleans anyway. We're going to go to Houston, right? But we can't just go back to the Essence Music Festival and have a party. We got to do something else. We got to call out to the community. We got to do something about, you know, to help our folk, not only in Katrina, but especially our children. So what are we going to do? We're going to call the brothers together. I don't know if you were there for that.
No, I was there.
Yeah, that's right. The brothers got together, pledged that we were going to do something. Nothing happened. And so we were on the beach saying, what are we going to do? Susan said, we got a mentor. You know, we got to call the community together to put their hands on the shoulders of vulnerable black kids and everybody make a commitment. That's the only way this is going to happen. You know, we didn't come up and get where we are by ourselves. All of us had mentors. You know what I mean? Elsewise, I wouldn't be here at all. You know, I wouldn't be here. So that's how it started on the beach. But they had blackberries back then. Blackberry. Susan had muscles right here in her thumbs, you know, from working on her blackberry, right? She put most of CARES together on her blackberry.
Wow.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Well, it is amazing. It's great to be here. So we look forward to this gala. Always good to see you, my brother.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Always. Yeah.
All right, then.
I'll see you a little bit later.
Kefra Burns, y'all. That's my man.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. I'm looking down this. Appreciate it, baby. Go right ahead. I'm looking down this carpet. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to go to a break. I'm going to come back. Hopefully, I'm going to grab Susan. And then I'm going to try to grab Courtney B. Vance as well. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network.
Check this out. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are investing a record $7 billion into HBCUs. Billions for campus improvements, grants, and debt relief. Billions more for HBCUs. Endless possibilities for us.
For the last 15 or maybe 16 years, 18 years, I'll say, since when I moved to LA, I hadn't had a break. I hadn't had a vacation, probably a week vacation here and there. Right. This year, after I got finished doing Queen Sugar and we wrapped it out, because I knew I had 2 TV shows coming on at the same time, I said, I'm going to take a little break. So I've been on break for the first time, and I can afford it. Praise God. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I can afford it. I'm like, I can sit back and ain't got nothing to worry about, man. But this was the first time in almost in 2 decades that I've actually had time to sit back and smell the roses.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Democracy in the United States is under siege. On this list of bad actors, it's easy to point out the Donald Trumps, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, or even the United States Supreme Court as the primary villains. But as David Pepper, author, scholar, and former politician himself says, there's another factor that trumps them all and resides much closer to many of our homes. His book is Laboratories of Autocracy, a wake-up call from behind the lines.
So these state houses get hijacked by the far right, then they gerrymander, they suppress the opposition, and that allows them to legislate in a way that doesn't reflect the people of that state.
David Pepper joins us on the next Black Table, here on the Black Star Network.
I'm Dee Barnes, and on the next frequency, Professor Janelle Hobson joins us to talk about hip-hop and its intersection with feminism and racial equality, plus her enlightening work with Ms. Magazine and how the great Harriet Tubman connects with women in hip-hop.
So it was not hard for me to go from Harriet Tubman to hip-hop, honestly, because it is a legacy of Black women's resistance and Black women supporting our communities. That's what Harriet Tubman did.
That's on the frequency on the Black Star Network.
Hello, we're the Critter Fixers. I'm Dr. Bernard Hodges.
And I'm Dr. Terrence Ferguson.
And you're tuned in to
Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered here at the Black Star Network. We're here at the National Cares Gala, Mentoring Gala, in New York. We've been chatting with a number of different people here. There are a lot of different partners as well. Tell everybody who you are.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you. This is Dr. Stacey Grant, International Care CEO of the State Survivation Sorority Incorporated, one of the new partners with CARES, but an old affiliate leader from Queens, New York, working with Susan Taylor for years. But it's very important work with National Cares, and we're just excited as an organization to join other members of D9 as we find the mentors and deploy them to our children who need us now more than ever. For the love
All right, at this time,
have y'all been tracking folks that come through, checking on them to see how they're doing?
Well, for the love of our children, Gala 2024, please take your seats at this time. Thank you.
That's the work that we've been doing as affiliates, making sure that we can find out what happens to the young people after you have that quality time with a mentor. You never know who can change your life.
All right. We still appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Always great seeing you, my brother.
Thank you. All right. Folks, again, we're going to be chatting in a moment with Susan Taylor. I want to go back to our panel here, and I want to start with Greg in this round. Greg, when we talk about mentors, look, for me, grandfather, father, uncles, so I had a very strong family structure. But unfortunately, a lot of folks in our community don't have that strong family structure, which is why you have to have external groups picking up the slack.
Everybody's birthday is only once every 4 years on this leap day. But I spent much of the day at Paul Laurence Dunbar High School here in D.C. Of course, we know the historic Dunbar, at one time the only place in the country where Black children could go to high school and prepare to go to college. And we were talking about this very thing. Mentors, the Greek word, or cheknas, to use one of the words like Amharic, Ethiopian. And what we talked with these young people about was the fact that regardless of if you have someone in your house or in your community or not, when you find elders, when you find others who are willing to share with their experiences, you should drink it up. You should listen to them. You should interact with them. You should build your network. And so there's nothing like what happens in our community when adults, when people invested in the future of our people, look at young people and say, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to talk with you. I'm not going to walk in front of you and lead you. I'm going to walk side by side with you. That form of courage and investment and expectation is really the only way we can move forward, because as the ancient Egyptians would say, when you are dealing with a young person, you're really training your replacement. So that's what we're doing. We're training our replacement to engage in the work that you're covering today.
Joining us right now is the founder of National Cares, Susan Taylor. What's happening?
Hello, Roland Martin. Look at you, looking like the king. You are.
I'm the judge here chilling.
The king you are. Thank you for tonight. We are so excited to be here for our children, to be in this gorgeous spot and with your gorgeous self and, you know, Black America, gathering with our allies to do the good work. National Cares Mentoring Movement for the Love of Our Children Gala.
So I was talking to Kefra, and he said this thing started, y'all were on the beach like, what we gonna do? And he said you basically almost rubbed your thumbs off on the BlackBerry with this idea.
It's so true. I miss my BlackBerry, but that's another story. Because, you know, Katrina just devastated New Orleans, the home of the Essence Music Festival. And I said, we can't go back and do what we've done. We have to deepen our commitment. We have to do something to protect our children. And just in being still and listening in, Holy Spirit said mentoring. And so we brought people together over several days in New Orleans, and we asked them to go back to their respective cities and to mentor the children. But we needed to do more than that, because they didn't. And so I started Essence Cares. And then when I wrote about it, people just reached out and said, we need this in our city. And I said, you know what? Got to rename it, because they couldn't use the name Essence, so we named it the National Cares Mentoring Movement. And we started building, first in Atlanta, and then we replicated that model, recruiting mentors, training them, and then deploying them to where our children were struggling and losing ground in, you know, poverty schools, in incarceration, forgotten, struggling, depressed, and now suicidal. So this is our work. We work where the harms of poverty live. We're not afraid of our people. We are standing on the shoulders of ancestors who didn't even have shoes. So this is the work that we're doing, and we're serious about it.
So in how many cities now?
We're in, wow. We are in 58 cities and 26 states.
And are you surprised that how quickly it developed? Because that's not always easy.
You know something, Roland? I want to be wherever the children are struggling. What surprises me is that we have to work so hard to get people to care. You know, I mean, we are living in social media. We know everything about celebrities, but we don't know enough about our own history, culture, what our people withstood for our arrival, and what our responsibilities are today. That's what I want. I want Black people to get along with one another, to agree, and to learn how to link arms and aims in peace and build together. That's the vision, you know.
All right. Well, look, program's about to start, and so you got to go. There's going to be a dinner break in about 20 minutes, so we're going to come back here, so y'all don't go anywhere. So got to let you go to get this thing started.
Okay.
And so always good to see you, and always glad to be here.
Have you spoken to this wonderful woman over there, Dr. Janine Downey?
I have not, but again, after the dinner break, I can do that.
You can do that. Okay, you got to know a dermatologist par excellence.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Folks, we're going to do this here. Actually, we'll do this here. Let me go to Lauren, I asked the same question to Greg when we talked about how critically important mentors are for you. Who was it?
Actually, Cokie Roberts, interestingly enough. Cokie Roberts was really my first big journalism job, which was at ABC News. And she pushed me to graduate. I was failing a math class at American University over and over again. But she still hired me. And she taught me the business of broadcast journalism, and it was unbelievable. She made sure I went on the trips of all the trips that all the correspondents got to go on. She made sure I was always positioned to meet all the people that I needed to meet to excel, and she was fantastic. Unbelievable person.
All right, hold tight once. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch the audio to the room. We're going to pick up the program. And we're going to go to a break. We're going to come back to the program, and then I'll check back in with our panel in about 20 minutes, folks. So don't go anywhere. We're not stopping the live stream. We're just going into the room for the beginning of the program. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
You heard why we're marching, and it's really a launch. It's not even a march. We're launching.
That's right.
A 42-week campaign March the 2nd at 10 o'clock in Raleigh and 33 other state capitals and the District of Columbia. This is a historic move to mobilize the most powerful untapped block of voters in this country, poor and low wealth voters, who make up 87 million votes. And it's never been tried before. Never been tried before in history. At the same time, the same message, same focus. And when that power turns loose, they will not be able to figure out the political calculus. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to shake things up. I'm ready to get up out of the valley. I'm ready for God to put his spirit on us. I'm ready to be used to change this nation. And what we're saying is, can't we come together? Can't we come together around an agenda? You ain't got to like everything about Reverend Barber. You don't have to like everything about Sangria. You don't have to like everything about Long Choir. But can we come together and say, it's time to end poverty as the fourth leading cause of death? It's time to have $15 and a living wage indexed with inflation. So every time inflation goes up, the minimum wage goes up. It's time to have health care for all. It's time to fully fund public education. Can't we come together? It's time to protect women's right to women's health. It's time to have affordable housing for everybody. It's time to stop the proliferation of guns. Ain't no way folk ought to be able to have more guns than they have food, more guns than they have meat on their table. That makes no sense. Isn't it time for division to be ended and love to take over? Can't we organize around that? Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't need to like everything about you, but can't we organize for power? Can't we stand for justice? Can't we love everybody for just a little while? Can't we come up out of the valley? Can these bones live?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Devon Franklin. It is always a pleasure to be in the house. You are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Stay right here.
Okay, I'm gonna try that again because so many of you all were talking about how turned up y'all were gonna be when y'all came to this year's gala. Good evening, everyone. That's what I'm talking about. We're gonna keep that energy. Welcome to the National Cares Mentoring Movement 2024 For the Love of Our Children Gala. Woo, let's bring it up, y'all. That's right. We are so thrilled to have so many of our friends and family viewing online. So let's show them some love, y'all. Bring the energy up in the room. That's right. Tonight's program, hosted by the amazing Sherri Shepherd, is about to begin. And who better than Sherri to help us celebrate not only the courage and resilience of our young ones and women of courage who continue to defy the odds, climb many mountains, and move millions of dollars to poorly resourced communities so that our children and our world can get what they need. But for now, please listen to one of the greatest writers our world knows, a woman of courage. She embodies courage. She, along with other cherished women, led conversations we were once too afraid to have, but now cannot live without.
I was inspired to write the pledge to our youth, really by Miss Susan Taylor of Essence Magazine. Well, she asked, had I looked at the youth recently? And I speak to the youth all the time. And I'm aghast that we're losing them so fast, the black ones and the white ones, and the Native American, the Latino, the Asian ones. We're losing them to the gangs and to the streets and to drugs. So I said, yes, I've looked at them. And she asked, well, we'd like you to write something. We'd like you to write a statement to the youth. So I thought about the children, all the children. And I sat down and wrote this one little piece. It says some of what I mean to say.
Young women, young men of color, we add our voices to the voices of your ancestors who speak to you over ancient seas and across impossible mountaintops. Come up from the gloom of national neglect. You have already been paid for. Come out of the shadow of irrational prejudice. You owe no racial debt to history. The blood of our bodies and the prayers of our souls have bought you a future free from shame and bright beyond the telling of it. You are the best we have. You are all we have. You are what we have become.
Thank you, Oprah Winfrey, and thank you to our treasured ancestor, Dr. Maya Angelou, for writing the beautiful pledge to our children for cares. You remain forever with us. And now, please help welcome to the stage our own poet laureate, the incomparable Jessica Care Moore.
Hey family, how y'all doing? Y'all pretty? Sending greetings and love from the Black City of Detroit. Happy to be in the house. Thank you, Susan Taylor, for trusting me for many years in a row to write something to celebrate everyone that's in this room. And this year, I'm very honored to be celebrating the greatest of all time. That would be the Black woman. The original GOAT. A 15-year-old girl, September 4th, 1957. Head full of curls, wore a perfectly starched white and black dress. She wasn't planning to walk alone that day. Pushing past screens of hatred and threats against her life, Elizabeth Ann Eckert, face covered in dark glasses, still continued, walking the longest block of her life. The first black student to integrate a segregated American high school in Little Rock, Arkansas. Perhaps inside Eckert's chest was Harriet Tubman's heart, passing down Southern recipes for survival, delivering directions to freedom. It's in the handshake. It's in the heartbreaks. It's in the eye roll. It's in the round of our hips. It's in the girl code. It's in the truth-telling. It's in our creative consciousness. It's in the undertow. Or maybe it was the race that gave flamboyant wings to Flojo and lives on through the bravery and speed of Sha'Carri Richardson. A speed that propelled a Jamaican girl in a rural township into off-track perfection. Women casting intentional spells of resilience, reimagining possibility for our daughters, showing up in the presence and power of God, unbroken. It is the only way to explain the existence of the locomotive energy of Dr. Trisha Bailey. Or maybe it is the courage of a girl named Grace, a Guyanese stream that never forgot her source. Girls allow full access to their imagination are unstoppable. It's in the intention. It's in the refusal to code switch, to wear our twisted locks, paint our nails a deep ruby red, press our hair with a Madam C.J. Walker hot comb, build empires and sons that love their mothers. It's in the refusal to allow them to disappear us. We alive in the work of philanthropist and mentor Susan Taylor Batten, doing the lifelong courageous work of racial equity. We are a Sheila Johnson empire striking black, a Susan Taylor pantheon of publishing, the essence of finding strength at all costs. We a shared community compass directing us back to ourselves when lost. Under a soprano sky, we find the power of self-preservation with every breath, every syllable from Sonia Sanchez. Sometimes it just takes one Detroit woman to refuse to sit at the back of the bus. It is the truth of Sojourner on the early battlefield for women's rights, an entryway, a passing through for all of us who find a way balancing motherhood and activism with the revolutionary spirit of Ida B. Wells. Glass ceiling still breaking in 2024 as Kimberly Dowdell, my sister, becomes the first black woman president of the American Institute of Architects. While Ketanji Brown Jackson reigns supreme, a Willie Mae Thornton Blues, the gift, craft, and majesty reflected in the eyes of Cicely Tyson, the activism of Lena Horne, an Alice Walker poem in the purple palm of our hands, a Nina Simone note dragged and held captive on the bottom of a nightmare ship. We exist in Serena's right wrist, and the funk rock leg kick of Betty Davis. We are seers, regal, radical, beautiful before your timelessness beauties found in the visionary filmmaking origin eye of Ava and hip-hop archivist Sarita Gates. When you dream, you don't wait. You celebrate the queen and the light. Making space, Mae Jemison in flight, the audacious journey of Josephine Baker and her steadfast defiance against back doors. Our collective wonder held in the grip of a love only a bell hooks could reach. In the bluest eye of Morrison, the secrets we share and the laughter we blow out large as an Angela Davis 1971 Afro. We know deep loves and battle scars. Selma Burke and Bette Saar. Didn't Nikki Giovanni just travel to Mars? Don't we shapeshift Sankofa style back and forth through these stories of survival, Octavia? You remember who we be? The satirical wit and beautiful stutter of Ruby Dee. The reason why Intozaki wrote for Color Girls and Misty Copeland's Body Forever Changed ballet. It's the way we move. We are the message. We are the messages braided into cornrows. It's in the meals with no recipes. It's never having to ask for directions. It's an intuition. It's a knowing. It's a songbird force of Patina Miller. It's Roberta Flack for beginners. It's our stillness. It's in our walk. It's in our laughter. Our Gwendolyn Brooks cool. Our fierce Samara joy. We sculpted in the delicate brown, red, Alabama red poem, deep, dark blue, ocean, black clay of Catlett and Vinnie Bagwell. we age well. Through whispers and handfuls of prayers, we are the necessary fire in the belly that birthed American rock and roll. That birthed American rock and roll. It's personal for me. Resonating off the fingers of Sister Rosetta Tharpe's strings. A vote for Shirley Chisholm, and Aretha is our queen. We are the miracle, the memory, and the message. Some days you might find us wearing dark sunglasses and a perfectly starched white, black, and white dress, taking a courageous, unplanned long walk into our future, glancing back at the other women who propelled us across the line. Long live black women, the original greatest of all time. Thank you. I love us, and I love you. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. I love you. Enjoy your night.
Give it up for Jessica Pierre Moore. And now, please welcome National Care's Board Chairman, Reginald Van Lee.
So why in the world do I have to follow that? Was that not amazing? I think we applaud again. Thank you. Thank you. I have the honor to serve as chair of the board, and I have some of our other board members here, and I'd like for them to stand to be recognized as well. Board members, please stand. So one might ask, why do we do this? Why do we and the other board members do this? And I would steal from our founder and spiritual leader, Susan Taylor, who once said, hands that serve are holier than lips that pray. Let me say that again. Hands that serve are holier than lips that pray. And many times people would sit back and I'm going to pray for that, or I'm going to hope that it gets better, and, you know, I'm behind you. But we are a serving board, and we're delighted to do it. So we're happy to be here, inspired by our spiritual leader and founder. I want to first recognize and thank some of our sponsors. Our premier sponsor, the Oprah Winfrey Charitable Foundation, and the Hope and Robert F. Smith family. Our presenting sponsors, Bailey's Medical Equipment and Supplies, the KC Family Programs, FedEx, who gets a lot of money from me. That's not because I'm always late in deliverables. I just like FedEx anyway. The Grace Global Capital, and the Coca-Cola Company. Our gold sponsors, AARP, Lawada Kimbrough, and Stardust Fund. And to all our bronze sponsors, you mean so much to us. We value you. We appreciate your support. And now, before I leave the stage, to introduce the Emmy Award-winning and beloved host, actor and comedian, the one and only Sherri Shepherd.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Jessica. Hey, family. Hey. Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited to be here tonight. And ladies, y'all look so beautiful. Give yourselves a hand. You look so good. Y'all know you're going to have to loosen up that waist trainer when the food comes. I don't know if you like me. I got on a waist trainer, saran wrap, and a girdle. Oh my goodness, when I tell you, I am so excited to be here, and I want to thank Susan Taylor, who called me and asked me to host for the evening. I don't know what Susan is, but I want to thank Susan, because when Susan Taylor calls you to host, first of all, you drop the phone because you're like, I can't believe I'm talking to Susan Taylor. And then the next answer out of your mouth is whatever you need, yes. But I personally want to thank Susan Taylor because you were the editor-in-chief of Essence magazine, and that was a magazine I read faithfully. Every month, that was my magazine. And Susan Taylor, I want to say you oversaw the most beautiful articles. And from the articles that you put out in Essence magazine, I learned how to be a confident Black woman. Thank you. I learned how to style myself and about fashion. And from your wonderful articles, I learned that all of my ex-husbands were cheating on me. Thank you so much, Susan. Because I would have never known. So now I'm living in my spirit by myself. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. Oh my gosh. And note to somebody, my feet are killing me. If you find my arches, can you Federal Express them back to me? Who else? Is anybody else, your feet on fire? Okay. All right. I heard you, Bevy. All right. Welcome to the 2024 For the Love of Our Children Gala. Yes. And like I said, I am thrilled to host this evening because it centers on our most vulnerable, our children. We want to make sure the world hears the critical message of the night that we love our children and we will protect them. So please use the hashtag CaresGala24 and hashtag LoveOurChildren. And again, let me thank you, Susan Taylor, for your decades-long commitment to lifting up our community with love, with wisdom, and with warmth. We are so grateful to you for issuing a call to love and action on behalf of our precious young, and one to honor incredible women of courage, Dr. Trisha Bailey, yes, Susan Taylor Batten, and Grace Vander Cruz. And I don't know about y'all, but I cannot wait to hear the smooth, the moving, the beautiful sounds of Kenny Lattimore. Now, let's do what we do when we come together. We're going to share some good food and drink, some good laughter, and lots of love. So would you help me welcome the fearless Reverend Al Sharpton, who will lead our blessing before we break bread.
Good evening, good evening. Certainly we are blessed to be here and blessed to have the most spiritual person that I've met in my life, Susan Taylor, bringing us together every year. I'm going to pray they kept Sherry on stage to yank my coat. I'm not supposed to be making a speech. I'm supposed to be praying. Let us pray. Dear God, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, we gather to thank you first for life. We thank you because we know throughout the annals of history you never made a mistake. And we know that we're not mistakes. And every once in a while you'll send a Susan Taylor by to teach us that we, no matter what our circumstance and our background, we were created to do something perfect and in your order. We thank you because you've given us mentors. And if we would follow the mentors, we would find our paths to being the essence of who we're supposed to be. So bless us tonight as we have fun to see the depths of who we should and could be, and then pass that on to our children, who Susan and Kemper have given their lives to develop, because some had to develop us. I thank you for the strong black women, a black woman that raised me, a single mother, but didn't bring me with a single concept of myself, but taught me to be whoever I could be. You even chose to bring your son in the world through a dark Nazarene woman who stood by him all the way to the cross. And as we bear the cross of these times, we know the only ones that will help bear that cross is strong, conscious, spiritual black women. So we thank you as we partake of food and beverage tonight, that we also partake of the spirit of you in us that emanates in this great endeavor. These blessings we ask in your name and for thy sake. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds. An angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol. We've seen shooting. We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear.
Owens, America's wealth coach and host of Get Wealthy. Let me hit you with a few numbers. African Americans spend 9 times the amount on ethnic beauty products and yet only own 1% of the beauty supply stores. It's an $18 billion industry. On the next Get Wealthy, you're going to learn and hear from a woman who's turning this obstacle into an opportunity.
We literally take you from A to Z on all of the things step by step you need to have in place to open and run a very successful beauty supply store.
That's right here with me, Deborah Owens, host of Get Wealthy, only on Black Star Network.
I'm Paula J. Parker, truly proud on the Proud Family.
I am Tommy Davidson. I play Oscar on Proud Family, Louder and Proud.
Hi, I'm Jo Marie Payton, voice of Sugar Mama on Disney's Louder and Prouder, Disney Plus. And I'm with Roland Martin on Unfiltered.
folks, Roland Martin, welcome back to the National Cares Gala. I'm here, of course. So there's a dinner break right now, and so we're going to go back to the program when it starts. There are several people who we want to chat with, and so there are a lot of people here from various National Cares chapters. Come on. National Care chapters all across the country, and also some people being on. First of all, how you doing? What's your name?
And before I start, I want to say so I'm going to try to arrest my nervousness because I'm such a big fan.
I appreciate it. So your support for the foundation, for National Cares Gala, how long have you been involved?
You know what? The great Queen Mother, Susan Taylor, has poured into us, and I am a civil rights attorney by trade, but a lover of us on purpose. And so it's been really great to show in a philanthropically strong way. We also are going to do a match tonight at the dinner. But we, I represent trust-based, care-based philanthropy where we know what the solutions are. Those closest to the issues are always closest to the solution, and we should fund early, often, and eagerly.
Well, on that particular point, with what they're doing with their various chapters, how they've been able to grow, and more people are requesting them to come into their city.
That's absolutely right. We hope that this is a model that proliferates. It absolutely is a solution. We don't need any more commissions. We know how to care for us. We know how to pour into us, and we should be investing in our partners.
All right, then. So you said it's going to be a match later. What do you say to other philanthropic organizations out there? Because it's very difficult for a lot of black organizations to try to get those resources. Why they must support initiatives like this?
We must. This is our future. This is the greatest investment in an equitable future. And I, have strong words that I'm going to be measured for your programming. That philanthropy will always done, right? These organizations, black-led organizations, community leaders have always had the answer. We have given too anemically in the past, and now it's time to stand in the breach and reckon with that history of undergiving. And so I say they can do it the same way Molly got to do it, and the Stardust Fund and Wanna Keep Up to do it. I create a challenge to everyone else to do it.
All right, then. Well, we surely appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, folks. I appreciate it. So, again, we're going to chat. Come on, step up. Here we go. How you doing? What's your name? Michelle, how's it going? How critically important to support what this organization is doing?
It's mission critical, right? Supporting the next generation is the way in which we're going to see our future in this country. That everybody thrives and that we live into the democracy that
Now, one of the things that is really great is that, again, this is really driven by folks on the ground, connecting directly with individuals, young brothers and young sisters.
That's right. And so we want to say thank you so much for Susan, for her leadership in this work, right? We want to thank the mentors who have done a phenomenal job day in, day out of walking alongside of the next generation to make sure they have the opportunities and the access, the ladder that they need to be able to live into the full potential that they have, right? And so that's why it's really important to be a part of this mentoring organization, why it's important to support the work that Susan is doing through CARES, and we are really thrilled. My company, Values Partnership, is on behalf of our clients to ensure that the next generation has the access to mentors and opportunities they need for them to be able to grow.
All right. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I want to ask Lauren and Greg this here. And Lauren, I want to start with you. And that is, this has been one of the issues that many organizations have had, really getting foundation of us to understand the work that is being done. And it is always a constant battle to go after those resources. And so in this country, we spend a ton of money after the fact. But if you actually put more money on the front end, you can actually fix a lot of these problems.
Absolutely, yeah. And interestingly enough, I think next week in the State of the Union, we're going to hear the president perhaps do some policy that is going to make us think about that again, but I'll detail that out next week. If you do not spend money on the front end on these young people, you will definitely be paying on the back end. We're definitely seeing that in the nation's capital with the lack of investment in our youth and what happens when they, get to about teenage years, is that if you don't give young people something to do that's constructive, it will turn into something negative usually. So there's a huge problem with that. It's not sexy policy that politicians like to talk about. They love to make big announcements about new crime fighting initiatives and all that, but they don't like to do any sort of investment that requires a deeper thought process and some forethought about how you stave off problems, 10 to 15 years in advance. And it's really hard to get lawmakers that make public policy to think in that direction and think 10 to 15 years ahead like these other countries do, but we pay the price for it. We've been paying the price for it for decades.
That is it. I mean, it is amazing when we have these conversations with folks about resources, and you will have lawmakers who will spend a lot more money on prisons, on jails, and programs along those lines, but then will say, "Oh, we can't afford it." When we talk about preventative programs, which is nonsensical. And again, we see this all across this country on the federal, state, and local level.
Yeah. Well, the people who say we don't have money to pay for these types of programs are open enemies of our common humanity. They're miserable. They're miserable examples of misanthropic, individualistic, hyper-capitalist, really shrunken souls. And the tragedy isn't that they have these opinions, although that is a tragedy in a human sense. The tragedy is that we don't rise to the challenge and overwhelm them with our numbers, because most people in this country and in the world don't share those miserable opinions. When I look at the board of directors for National Cares, for example, and you see folks associated with the Carlyle Group and J.P. Morgan Chase and C3 Venture Flint and Comerica Bank and the Pickard Group and General Motors and KPMG, there's a reason why you have to recruit these type of folk, because they have access to resources. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. Because we know that the type of mouth to ear, hand to hand, life to life shaping that has allowed us to not only withstand the greatest single enduring tragedy in contemporary human history, enslavement and its aftermath, was achieved for us, by us, in churches, in community centers, in communities without resources except the human resource of investment. What happens when you pour that type of beautiful, brilliant determination into a larger vessel like the United States, a state system where there has never been a consensus on what this country is and what its commitment is to the people who live in it? Well, what you end up with is what we have here. People who have never accepted everyone in this country as human, whether they be folks who were here when the border crossed them that they will now call illegals, whether it be people of African descent who were brought here to work and then freed into a market economy with no money to our own devices, and we still triumphed. Well, there is no we in this country, and this is evidence of it. You would invest in all of us if there was a we.
Well, again, and one of the things that also I try to remind folks is that there's this assumption that black folks don't give. But when you actually look at giving, African Americans actually over-index when you combine what we do with churches, with HBCUs, with community groups like this here. But there's a direct correlation, though, to lack of wealth creation. The fact that you have African Americans who have college degrees who make less than whites with high school diplomas. And so when you have higher student loan debt, when you have lack of access to those high-level jobs, then that has a direct relationship to the lack of giving to our organizations, Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that we got people around like Robert Smith and, the idea that people really think about paying for tuition, like he paid for everybody's tuition at Morehouse, and that puts everyone on a plane where you see that type of giving, and it allows those folks to come out debt-free. saw the other day with Albert Einstein's the $1 billion gift for one of a medical school in the poorest borough of New York, which is the Bronx. Stuff like that is huge because it allows people to stay out of debt. In the Black community, you're right, there's this idea that people don't give, but I can think of a lot of examples where there's been a lot of giving, and we just don't get the amount of publicity and attention when our wealthy folks do a bunch of philanthropy like everybody else does. But it definitely is something that's needed. We need to see more of it. We have so many people now who are on the millionaire level, and now we're starting to get folks on the billionaire level. So it's huge, and it does help a lot of people. And obviously, when you're paying people's tuitions off, and when they can start, when they get out of school and have no debt, that's a huge thing. It's massive. Something like that happens.
Well, and again, that's what one of the points when we're talking about, we're also fighting for funding for Black-owned media. When you're building capacity, growing organizations, you can also do more helping and give. And so people have to understand there's a direct relationship, and we're fighting these economic battles to support for our people. How you doing? What's your name?
I'm great. I'm Cornisha McGill Brown, 27th National President of Jack and Jill of America, Incorporated.
And so the work, talk about the work that Jack and Jill has done with National Cares.
Yes, we have been an impact partner with National Cares for 4 years, and we understand the importance that it takes a village. So we have 262 chapters across the nation, and wherever there is a National Cares mentoring affiliate, we are there to support through volunteers, also as chapters, but also as individual members to ensure that we can provide the resources to really make an impact for all children. It's not just about our children at Jack and Jill, but we know that we must do more for all children within our communities. And we have our National Program Director here with us, Marvis Donaldson, and she is in charge of making sure that all of our chapters understand the commitment that National Cares Mentoring has within our communities. And I also want to share, Susan Taylor has just been an inspiration in so many ways. We actually made her an honorary member of Jack and Jill 2 years ago, and we were able to provide a grant of $25,000 to ensure that we can continue to support the mission and the work of National Cares Mentoring.
Have you tracked how many folks that y'all have been able to touch and work with?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Have you tracked how many folks y'all have been able to work with, touch, and be involved with?
Yes, we have, through our 262 chapters, probably about 40,000 that we have been able to. We track all of our programming and how many children and how many mentors we have in all of our chapters. So overall, about 40,000.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay, we appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much for having us.
All right, folks. So final comment. Greg, you can close us out.
It's interesting. I'm glad first of all, Roland, it's so important. Again, Black media, nobody's covering this. Nobody's watching this except us.
No. Greg, I can tell you here on the red carpet, you had some photographers here. No local stations, no other black media, no other Black-owned media as well. We're the only ones.
And that's why you have to support.
In fact, we'll be the only ones tomorrow. We'll be the only ones tomorrow who'll be live streaming the celebration of life for Harry Belafonte at Riverside Church.
That's not possible. Seriously? Roland, Black Star is the only network to. That is simply stunning. Now, when they come to you for the footage, I hope you charge them, brother. I hope you charge them. This is why we have to support this network. Again, listening to the sisters from Jack and Jill, for many years at Howard, when Jack and Jill would bring its chapters to Washington, D.C. to undertake something they call Jack and Jill on the Hill, they would ask me to give a talk on our history and culture, and I was always honored to do that. When you said, Roland, that our people over-index in terms of giving, that is all-inclusive. It's those who may have a little bit more money, whose young people might be in Jack and Jill. It's those who have very little money, who will take their hard-earned dollar, 10% of it, and put it in the tithe box. Our people have made ourselves into what we are through sacrifice. W.E. Du Bois always says that. So when you're looking at the Black Star Network covering something like this CARES convening, what you're looking at is Black self-determination. If we're going to be serious about our liberation, We have to free ourselves. What did Eric Holder said? There's no cavalry coming. That's true of the United States, and it's true of black people. And we're only here because of sacrifice. So dig deep. Support this network. As Roland is going after those advertising dollars and those federal dollars and those private industry dollars and those company dollars and those business dollars, do not let that be the hill that the Black Star has to go up alone. Have the foundation be for us, by us, because that is the only thing that has ever guaranteed our progress.
You're absolutely right. And I say this repeatedly, trying to explain to people why this absolutely matters. We do these things all around the country, and there are numerous times. It's just us. I can tell you, 2018, we were at the NAACP convention in San Antonio, and I took a photo. We were the only media outlet who was on the riser. Maybe one of the days a couple of local cameras came. That was it. For the entire convention, it was just us set up on the podium. The following year, it was in Detroit, 2019. All of the presidential candidates came through there, and it was quite interesting how many people were there, and all the media was there. But the next day, after the candidates left, all the media left. And so I keep saying we've got to have our own media. And I'm telling you right now, other black media not here. I could start naming them. Other black-owned media, they're not here. And so it's a lot of entertainment stuff that our people cover. But when it comes to news and issues and things like this, you're not going to see them. And so that's why we created the network. That's why we do the work. And so, again, tomorrow, so here's what happened. I called Susan Taylor. I said, Susan, are y'all streaming the National Cares Gala? She said they weren't. They've done it the last several years because of the cost. I said, we'll do it. I called Gina Belafonte. And Gina Belafonte, I said, hey, are y'all live streaming Mr. B's Celebration of Life? She said, we're not. I said, we can do it. And so we're going to bring our crews in, but they have a technical crew at the church. It's going to cost us $1,200. Let me say that again. It's going to cost us to stream it. Nobody's paying us to do this. No one is paying us to do what's happening tomorrow. And so our people have to understand that there are numerous things happening in the Black America that do not get covered, that do not get paid any attention. And we're always on the scene, and we try to do as much as we can. We can't do everything, and so that's our reality. And so, again, we want to thank everybody for what they do. We want to thank Reese, Lauren, and Greg for being on today's show. And so we're going to go toss back to the room. We're going to cover the rest of the National Cares Gala, and so we look forward to the rest of the program. Y'all, please support us in what we do. We need you to support the Black Star Network. Send your check and money order to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered.
Thursday, I'll be there.
Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. And be sure to download the Black Star Network app. Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. And of course, you can watch us on Amazon News by going to Amazon Fire. You can watch our channel on Plex TV, Amazon Freevee, as well as Amazon Prime Video. So we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll return to the National Cares Mentoring Gala here at Pier 60. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the celebration of life of the great Harry Belafonte at Riverside Church. Take care. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches. I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Ladies and gentlemen, Shirley Shepard.
Hey, Shirley. If you was trying to get my phone number, that was a bust. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we are back, y'all. You can have a seat. I know y'all grouped together. You want to take the pictures. How was the food, everybody? That food is so good. I don't know what y'all had. I had the branzino without the eyes. It was so good. And because I have all of these things on, to snatch me in, I took that. I was eating the food, and my waist trainer snapped open. My stomach said, "A whole new world." Oh, my goodness. Did I tell you I was excited to be here? You know what? I just found out that I am sitting at the AARP table. Let me tell you something about AARP. I've been dodging AARP for the last 6 years. They finally found me at the event. I'm telling you, at Edna. I'm sitting right next to Edna. Edna looked at me and she said, "You know my name and you know exactly why I'm here." She said, "Now take this pre-printed card in the newsletter and be quiet. Stop crying, you old geezer." So I love it. Hi, Edna. I think we're going to be friends for a very long time. Oh, my gosh. Edna, I will come willingly. I really, AARP is like, you can go out and get your morning paper, but AARP will find you. They are there. So, Edna, I will come willingly. I would like to do, have y'all ever done, sexy photo shoots for the AARP? Okay, because I'm still single. I ain't giving up yet. I need to. That'll be put on my dating profile, my AARP cover. Oh, my goodness. All right, now. We are back, so y'all get settled. You get ready for the second half, because you are about to hear from Susan, a star in One Cares, our co-honorary chair, Courtney Vance. Y'all can give him a hand, Courtney Vance. Ooh. Courtney Vance, you just say his name, you go, whoo. But right now, help me bring up Mr. Mentor himself, National Cares Chief Programs and Partnerships Officer, Stephen Powell.
Let's give it up for Sherry, y'all. One more time. So what's important to note is that coming out of COVID, the need for our services have tripled around the country. Our young people need us more than ever. So what I want us to remember today, this year is a leap year. So the question is, ask yourself, what are you willing to leap into for our young people? We need you to take a leap of faith and a leap of love. And building an ecosystem for our young people is so important. So I'd like to acknowledge partners and individuals who've made our work a lot easier. I'd like to first acknowledge Brian Dickens, BD Management, longtime friend. He is Kenny Lattimore's manager, and he got him here tonight. Brian Dickens, where are you? Please stand. Thank you. We've expanded our program, our signature group mentoring program, The Rising, into 10 new cities. Our partnerships have increased 30%, and we've expanded our University for Parents program. It could not be done without phenomenal people on our team, and I'd like to acknowledge my partner in time, not in crime, in time, Kerry Osborne. Where's Kerry, our Chief Development Officer, always behind the scenes, keeping things steady. Kerry, we thank you for all of your work and your support. Now, where's our amazing national team? They said they were going to come to New York and get turned up, so can our national team from around the country please stand and make some noise? Show us where you are. And in order to be the nation's leader in the recruitment, training, and deployment of African-American mentors, I'm about to show off our Soldiers of Love, our National Cares affiliate leaders, 58 cities around the country, volunteers dedicated to moving this work. Can our affiliate leaders please stand and make some noise? Cares affiliate leaders. Yeah, so to see those people who pour into our young people day in and day out, rain or shine, we love you. Thank you. So now the question is, y'all are trying to recruit black mentors. Where do you get them from? So I want to acknowledge our community impact partners. And if you're in the room when I call your name, please stand. So I'd like to first start with the Association of Black Psychologists. All right, Dr. Carmen, we see you. All right, let me get ready. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Yep, the turn up is real. Jack and Jill of America. Cornisha, Marvis, thank you. The Links Incorporated. The National Black Child Development Institute. The National Coalition of 100 Black Women. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity. And our latest partner, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority. Please stand, make some noise. Now, I do want to get a little Divine Nine check-in here. Where are my brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha? Where you at? All right, Alpha Phi Alpha in the house. The men of Omega Psi Phi, where are you? Okay, that's a lot right here. That's a lot going on right here. Kappa Alpha Psi, where you all? Kappa Alpha Psi. Yes, we saw y'all were ushered. You don't have to tell us anymore. Recorded. Thank you. Brothers, love y'all. Alpha, Kappa, Alpha, where are you? Sorority. We see you. All right. Sigma Gamma Rho. I'm going to clap for him. All right, there we go. Iota Phi Theta. All right, so that sounds like a little step show, but what I need y'all to know is we need a step up show. We need more mentors, and you all can help us next year, so thank you so much. Now, it is my honor to bring up to you the person who makes this happen. I need a hand clap. Let's go. No, clap. Follow me, follow me. She's a mentor of all mentors. She turned 78 last year, but we call it 70 great now. If I had to make a book of her euphemisms, it would be a library of love. Give it up, y'all. The Queen of Black America, Susan L. Taylor, our CEO and founder. Bring her all up, y'all. She don't even walk, she just glides.
Stephen Powell, my Lord, who told you to tell my age, son? But you know, I've never, ever not wanted to tell my age, and Lord knows, I like being 78. I never want to go back to being 45 and 55. That was so crazy, but I am just overjoyed, absolutely overjoyed tonight. It's, what a moment. And what a vision, what a privilege it is to be here, you know, among the willing and the able. You're here because you care. And we know that we are privileged. We are the most privileged, those of us who are of African ancestry, the most privileged black folk on the planet. And we stand on the shoulders of those who stood without shoes, of those who marched without permission, who ran without hesitation, and who flew. They flew without wings to do what needed to be done so that we could be, so that we could have this moment. And none of this should we ever, ever take for granted. Now it's our turn. That's the reality. It is our turn. And you don't need me to tell you that too few people care about those who are struggling in poverty. This is a crisis moment, but it's also a moment of opportunity and one that we are seizing. It's our turn. What must be done to ensure our young and the most vulnerable among us is the work that we have to do so that our children have an opportunity to experience what the National Cares Mentoring Movement is really building. Tori, we are building America the Beautiful. That's what we're dedicated to. We want this to be America the Beautiful. Our ancestors gave so much for the growth, the forward movement, the development of the wealth of this nation, and not just this nation, but the entire Western world. And what we're doing is putting a damper on the nightmare of trauma and pain and poverty that's on repeat, generation after generation. And we are the generations that have everything we need to really begin to solve this problem in a real way. Poverty hurts. It hurts no matter what color you are, no matter what age you are. And it's unfair for children in the wealthiest country in the world, the offspring of the people whose free labor, don't get me started now, you know, built the wealth of the Western Hemisphere. We want our children to throw their shoulders back, hold their heads up high, and know what their ancestors gave. But so many of our young are being left behind in these gravely under-resourced schools. They're overcrowded, the teachers are overwhelmed, and some, it's beyond our view. It's beyond our view. They live in shelters, they're in foster care, they couch surf, they're malnourished, they feel hopeless. They're living with unrelenting violence. And often what we hear when we're speaking and listening to young people in schools, they say they never live without fear, that they're always feeling fearful. 1 in 5 of our babies is born into poverty. That statistic has held fast. Asha Bendeli, where are you? For how long? That statistic has held fast for decades. We can do better than this if we link arms and aims and do the work that we know we're assigned to do. 85% of our children cannot read or do math at grade level. That's when I left Essence. I heard that stat, and I said, that's impossible. I called Marion Wright Edelman, and she said, oh no, we're losing literacy. And if you can't read and calculate, especially if you can't read, you can't open doors to any of the systems that you need to support you. And teaching some folk how to read, it's not nuclear physics. I'm not saying it's intentional. Y'all know the truth. If you can read and you can count and you have, Frederick Douglass was born into slavery and he became an orator and a phenomenal writer because someone took the time and he took the time to educate himself. This is our work. And it's not a work, Courtney, that we are leaving to anyone else to do. We need allies. We need people to work with us to help our children move out of harm's way. And what we do on behalf of the marginalized children, the forgotten ones, we work where the harms of poverty exist. We're not afraid. I'm so glad that, I was born in the neighborhood because I'm not afraid of us. And but for the grace of God, y'all would be here raising money for me. I am so blessed, and we are all so blessed to be on the giving side of the deepening economic divide. So we are freeing our children from the grip of poverty and depression. The depression is real. Our curricula, it's restorative. It's held in a framework that was designed by a brain trust of more than 60 experts from across a breadth of professions. It's culturally anchored. Stephen, could tell you stories about some of the organizations that are losing the children they serve. They're not led by people who are African American, but those who they're serving are black and brown. And the young ones, are saying, Leon, they're not going back because you all don't look like us. You all don't understand us. You don't understand what we're going through at home. You don't understand that we have a target on our backs. You don't know what it means to walk through America as a black person. You don't know. And so they've stepped away, and for the first time, these organizations are calling on us to come and bring our curriculum and to work with them. We turn no child in need away. We're focused on black children, but they're all our children. And so we turn no child in need away, and certainly no mentor. If you went to Harlan High with us on the south side of Chicago, we've done a lot of work there. You would see big, old white Bob. He went to that school many years ago, and Bob is a mentor. The kids love him, and he holds those reins and holds them close and tight and lovingly. And so our CARES trained psychologists, social workers, and other wellness experts. That's how we come into schools. We do two things. We recruit mentors, we train them, and then we deploy them to where they're needed. And they go into the overwhelmed schools. We go into detention centers. I know Greg Corbin is here. This brother drives 35, an hour and a half from where he lives in Ohio to where our young brothers are being incarcerated. He does that every week, an hour and a half each way to be with them. And sometimes I'll join online, and you are masterful, Greg. Thank you. So our children feel the love that we bring. They know that they are valued. So hope and confidence then begin to emerge. They may stop getting high before they go to school. It's a soporific. They're trying to heal the hurt. And our content is held in something that's called A New Way Forward, Healing with Hurting Black America. This is our work, and it's not just for the children, it's for us. Epigenetics, the pain of the many years of enslavement and brutality and being dismissed and being taught that everything about us was inferior. We're still healing from that. And then our children, with our love encircling them, a new kind of confidence emerges in our babies, and they begin to dream fearlessly. You see their posture changes. The way that they approach things change. They develop a love for self, a love for heritage, and a love for learning. And so social media, that's a whole other conversation. It's just changed the landscape. It's the age of selfies and self-obsession, as my husband Keffer Burns says. Our children are living for the likes. They want to be liked. And being popular means everything. Being popular and just having money doesn't even, I can sit home and be an influencer and make money. Well, I know this, we've not come this far along the way to be mesmerized by shiny objects and weapons of mass destruction. No, we have not. Our programs are consciousness shifting. That's what we do. We change people's ideas and our own about who we are and what we not deserve, but it's the residual of what our people have invested in life. We guide our young toward a healthy and productive future, the futures that they want, the financial mobility that they're longing for and so deserve. So I too want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank our board members. Boy, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bina Elliott, I know you're here. Michael Walker, I just love you way beyond the telling. Stuart, I didn't see Stuart here tonight. Are you here in the house, Stuart? He's not? Oh, good, Stuart. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. And Reginald Van Lee, Lord have mercy. I know you're sorry you ever asked me, tell me what I should do. You never gave me an assignment. Tell me what you want me to do and what you're doing it. You are absolutely doing it. So thank you. The Oprah Winfrey Charitable Foundation and the Hope and Robert F. Smith Family Foundation, the Giving. Thank you for coming in and sponsoring at the very highest level. And our presenting sponsors, two of our presenting sponsors are actually our honorees. How wonderful is that? Bailey Medical Equipment and Supplies, Miss Tricia, and Casey Family Programs. William Bell, if I start talking about you, I'll cry. Because William Bell is faithful. He's faithful to the community and to the children. And the Casey Family Programs, they're supporting some of our most vulnerable children in foster care. And I grew up in a foster home. We were the biological family, but my sister Lillian Baker is closer to me than our brother is right here. Lillian Baker was a foster child who came to us at 2 years old. And we are still tethered together. It's my beloved baby. And so she loves me to pieces. She loves me so much it embarrasses me because I let her sleep in the bed with me and she would wet me every night. And I didn't shun her. I let her keep coming back. Oh, Sue, I love you. I'm so glad I was so kind to her. Behave yourself, girl. Oh, Lord. And I want to thank FedEx, the FedEx family. You all just keep coming back to us, and we know the FedEx from New York is here. Thank you. Grace Vander Cruz. You're going to meet Grace. Grace Global Capital. Thank you, Grace, and her beautiful new husband, Marcus Smith. Oh, my Lord. Happy to know them. And the Coca-Cola Company, they have really just stepped in and been so generous to care. So we thank the whole team there. And I want to thank the gold sponsors, too. Oh, my gosh. Edna, AARP, they're in the house. Thank you. Luana, where's Luana Kimbrough and the Stardust Fund? Thank you. And to our silver sponsors, American Urban Radio Networks, AURN, Chesley Maddox Dorsey. She's CEO, she's a sister, she bought the company. So proud of you, Chesley. So very proud of you. Bank of America. Bank of America made a great investment, thank you, in the National Cares Mentoring Movement and the work that we're doing. Comcast, Delilah is in the house. I haven't gotten to see, are you here, Delilah? I haven't seen her in a long time, but she's being cool, but I'm glad you're here because you always support, but we don't see you enough, so I'm glad that you're here. Marva Smalls, always on a plane, Paramount, Marva Smalls at Paramount, and the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, one of our very first funders. How fortunate. And then all of our bronze sponsorships, the names are on the wall there. Too many to call out, but just thank you. And there's a special person I want to acknowledge. He's a good friend of Keffer's and mine, and I don't know if Valerie is here with him, but Eric Kelly. Where are you, Eric? Eric is just a beautiful soul. Thank you, Eric. Eric is a different spirit. Brilliant, has a I don't know if it's $1 billion, but he's in over 100 countries. That's where he's operating, but he never forgets community. When there weren't the supplies that people who were struggling from the COVID virus, he reached out to CARES, and we engaged our affiliate leaders in making sure that those supplies were delivered to people who were vulnerable in communities around the country. And that partnership really began, I think, a beautiful friendship that I hope we'll always maintain and honor. And what he's built is something called Bridge to Technologies, B to T. And they're really working with, and I wanted you to meet Mike Walker. Mike, raise your hand so that Eric can see you, and you all have to meet before you leave this room. But he gathers at NASDAQ the, most incredible group of African Americans, not all are African Americans, but most are, and they are our allies as well. And what they're doing, these are people who are running phenomenal businesses. They're entrepreneurs primarily. And you get to a level as a black entrepreneur and you're doing well, but then you can't raise the money that you need to raise to get to the next level, so that you can create a legacy organization that will last beyond just 1 or 2 generations. And this is really what he's building. But what's so unique and why Keffer and I love you so much is that you didn't forget the community. When people are building at that level, try to get people who are wealthy to really care about people who are living in poverty. It's not so easy. And the women we're honoring tonight, we're honoring them for that reason, because they care. And that's what I love about what you've built with B to T, that even though they're all wealthy people, they're doing very well, but they also now have selected, I think, too, and we're one of them, community-based organizations, nonprofits, that they're going to be raising money for. And he put a substantial number on the table that Carrie Osborne, our Chief Development Officer, said, don't mention, but I'm going to tell it anyway. He said $10 million. We're going to raise that money. And then we said we're going to make it $20 million, and we're going to raise that money from our people in communities. We're going to get our people to say, yes, we're going to give $5 a week, and it's going to be robo-giving. This is it's our problem, and it's our problem to solve. So I'm saying that, we have to be part of the vision, and we have to hold that vision really, really close to us and keep our hands on the plow. Am I mixing metaphors, Keffer? He's going to tell me that later. You mix metaphors, but you know what I mean. So working together, just working together, our children will win. They'll win. And that's, I think, the lesson that the Holy Spirit wants us to learn. We lost everything. We lost everything. We lost language, family, connection, faith. It's not faith organizations, but our religious practices. We lost everything, and no other entity that came to this nation lost everything. So what we're doing, we're remaking ourselves. We're remaking ourselves, and it starts with us looking in the mirror and being honest with ourselves about what we need to do to take all the gifts that God has given us and move even further toward wholeness. And I want to thank my beloved family. My daughter is here in the city, but she fell on her way here. She's okay. And so her husband, Bernard King, if you're a basketball fan, you know who he is. Yeah, he would be here, but he's home with, his wife, my baby, and I'm happy about that. I love that brother for taking such good care of my beloved one. And my sister, Lillian Baker, who I mentioned, and my brother-in-love, Reggie Lucas. Oh my gosh, Ellen, who's been braiding my hair since she was 16 years old. She's here in the house. Ruth Sanchez, who helped me to build Essence, and Dr. Cordia Beverly. I'm so sorry. Right? The best doctor you could ever have. She retired, and we still call her. We need help in understanding so-and-so. Thank you so much, Dr. Beverly. And to my darling Amina, Suzanne King, my beloved God, my beloved granddaughter. Thank you, Amina, for just being the gift in our families. We love you so much. My darling Kefra, 35 years of marriage, loving me. I say this to him all the time, loving me in a way that I really want every black woman to experience. I'm like, everybody should kind of have the kind of love, yeah. Speak it into existence. Be the love you're looking for. That's another speech. Let me get going on that one another time. Okay, Bevy, I hear you. So thank you, Kefra. Thank you for making every day, I would say that I'm married to a man who never made me cry, And that's really saying something. So thank you so much. But nothing points to this urgent moment and the need that black children have for more love and more support than the tragic spike in black child suicide. Historically, it was believed that suicide was not a threat to our babies, but that was not true. It's just that no one was paying attention. And now, though it's being written about and spoken about, and there are white papers and reports and books and conferences, there's still no national plan. We have a plan. We absolutely have a plan. Black children between the ages of 12 and 19 are dying by suicide at a rate that is higher and growing faster than among any other group in the nation. Our children ages 5 to 12 are dying by suicide at twice the rate of their white friends and peers. At 5 years old? Why would a 5-year-old want to take his life? Our children are speaking to us loudly. We are in a state of emergency, and without the necessary national response, there'll be no support. Education, we've been fixing that since probably 4 decades before Brown versus education. And the disparities in investing in education in our communities hasn't shifted. You can't go into one underserved black community and find a top-tier school. And we know that that's the key to advancement. So this is our call to love tonight. It's a call to love in action. It's a call to you. It's a call to me. It's a call to all of us to understand that self-care is the most important care we can give, and then what we have to do is do the work. So help us to ensure that we have what we need to train and anchor the caring people on the hotlines and in classrooms and in community centers with cultural understanding. I'm going to wind up. You know why? Because we have to pay $10,000 for every half hour we go beyond 10 o'clock. So when you see that clock getting back to 10 to 10, you all get your behinds out of here. Go home, because we need every dollar in the coffers. We don't need to give it to this venue. Okay. But we have a blueprint. We have a blueprint for recovery. And we are going to step into our communities. Janine Downey, dermatologist, phenomenal sister, love, Janine, always says, I want to help, I want to be involved. Her and her husband, Michael, they just are donors. She wants to train. She wants to talk to our young people. We're stepping into communities. We're stepping in. And we're going to train everyday black people how to listen to our young, how to hear them, how to see them, how to love them, and stop being didactic and telling them everything that's wrong with them. We took children to Capitol Hill who had attempted suicide and who were assigned to the National Cares Mentoring Movement. And they said, if you adults would stop criticizing us, we would tell you the truth. I heard them. I wish I knew that 40 years ago, you know? And so this is our work. This is what we're raising money for. Our children are dying on our watch, and we are going to train people in communities how to take care of them and how to advance them and how to recognize the signs of depression and to work with it. Because if we don't do it, it's not going to be done. So it's a huge undertaking. We're doing it with our community partners. You heard from some of them or about some of them tonight. And our curricula is singular, and we are implementing the nation's only culturally anchored curriculum for the healing and forward movement of black children living in poverty. I don't say that proudly, but it's the truth. Why would we want to? We don't want to be the only ones. We want to link arms and aims with other people, have you take our curriculum, let us train you, just don't steal it and use it without our permission, and the retraining, because we keep refining it and growing it. So that's it, you know. So now I want you to turn to the screens and see how our initiative, The Rising, elevating education, expectations, and self-esteem, is shifting the consciousness and nourishing young lives. This is just one young person's story.
Roseland, Chicago, on the city's far south side, was once a vibrant community where black families who had escaped the deadly Jim Crow South during the Great Migration settled and worked and dreamed for themselves and their children. There are the single-family homes with neatly kept lawns that still pepper the area. They tell the story of that time. But another story emerged as the civil rights movement gave way to public and private disinvestment in communities like Roseland, where industries had once ensured a healthy working and middle class. That story became one of abandonment. Forsaken neighborhoods destroyed the many thriving African-American communities in our nation. My name is Tamron Hall, and I'm here to share a story with you, a powerful one, about a young man named Khalid, whose narrative may have begun with hurt and despair, but has become one of healing and transformation.
My name is Khalid Marquise McCombs. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago in the Roseland neighborhood. When I was born, my mom had a stroke while giving birth to me, and she almost died, and she was never the same again. My family was a working class family. My aunts made sure that I had a roof over my head and clothes to wear. They made sure that I was presentable. Growing up in the Roseland area, I was exposed to a lot of violence. I lost one of my best friends to gun violence right down the street from my house. I was 10 and he was 11. We had all come back from the corner store. He stopped down the street for a minute to talk to some of the older guys that were in the neighborhood, and me and the rest of our crew went to the house. We started hearing gunshots. Everyone started rushing down, yelling his name, and I remember just seeing him laying in the street. I remember the neighbors and everyone saying that the killer stood over him and reloaded and dumped the full magazine into him and just assassinating him as if he was nothing. Growing up without a father, you're taught by, the streets and the people around you, men don't cry, and you believe that type of stuff. It made me angry at the world, and sometimes I would think what the world would be like if I wasn't there.
Mental health issues, including anxiety, despair, and depression that can lead to suicide, are affecting millions of Americans, but still carry great stigma. And that stigma keeps us from telling the truth about very real and understandable emotional challenges. Death by suicide is an epidemic in our country. More than 130 people die of that often preventable tragedy every single day. And no group is at more risk than young black people, who have the fastest growing rate of deaths by suicide in America, up 144% since 2007. But what if there was a gathering of committed, trained, and loving adults working together on behalf of our children? What if they showed our young ones growing up in poverty that they are precious and valued members of society? And what if they were given the opportunity to write their own stories of hope, healing, and high achievement?
I have been working with Chicago Public Schools for over 25 years. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. I intentionally chose to work in communities where children were underserved because I come from that community. And I know the value of getting an education from people who cared about me, who nurtured me, and who looked like me. So I wanted to be that person for my children. During his sophomore year, Khalid lost his grandmother. And the next year, he lost his mother. In the span of 2 years, he lost two of the most important people in his life.
I remember sitting in the hospital just praying and hoping that she came back from it like the stroke she had when I was a baby. And I remember holding her hand as she took her last breath.
In the advent of his mother's death, Khalid all but gave up and even refused to return to school for weeks. But Principal Ramona Outlaw and the extraordinary staff of the Rising program refused to give up on Khalid. The Rising is the signature initiative of the National Cares Mentoring Movement and the only one of its kind operating on a national scale to provide evidence-based healing and culturally anchored programming to students in deeply under-resourced schools and communities.
Our communities at times believe that our children are criminals. They believe that there's no hope for them. Our children, after a while, begin to believe in these misconceptions themselves. In spite of all of it, our children are still resilient.
The Rising program transformed my practice as principal because it made me understand and realize the importance of providing students spaces where their voices could be heard, and also spaces that were safe enough for them to unload much of the stress and trauma that they brought with them to school every day.
What's unique about the Rising curriculum, one is evidence-based in research, and it's culturally relevant. I think that many programs forget that there are life skills that's associated with growth and development that is just as important as the core classes that they may receive in an academic setting.
The Rising helped me realize I could show emotion and that it was okay to cry and have those conversations, not be seen as weak or as less of a man. My life changed because I started to feel more open and more happy with myself because I had finally let it all out and there wasn't a burden on my shoulders anymore for me to hold up.
The power of the Rising, I think, is solely in the love that we have. When we speak about heritage and about who you are and where you come from, it brings confidence back to being black.
I always thought that black people weren't supposed to have money or that we weren't supposed to be successful. And the Rising taught me that my culture had done some great stuff.
In the final 2 years of high school, Khalid, supported by the Rising program team and Principal Outlaw, worked as hard as he could, pulled up his grades. He graduated from high school and, with the help of one of his mentors, got into a pre-college summer program.
On May 6, 2023, I graduated from Mississippi Valley State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering Technology. By June of 2023, with the skills the Rising taught me, I was able to secure a job as a staff engineer in the state of Indiana.
What we should know about our children is that they deserve a high-quality education and the highest of expectations. If we love them unconditionally, they will become the most confident, independent, and successful contributors to our society. Khalid is special to me. He's so special. But there's so many Khalids, right? There's so many.
There are so many Khalids. I want to thank Tamron Hall for just always being available to us. And he's my son, the Reverend Dr. Michael Eric Dyson is in the house tonight. And Michael Dyson, from the very beginning, we called you. He's shown up at Harlan High. He's been there twice for us. And he and Tamron have hosted every gala that we've had, you know, up until this one. You never say no, and we love you so much for that. But guess who's in the house tonight? Khalid is in the house tonight. Khalid, stand up. You stand up, Khalid, and let us thank you and praise you. Khalid McCombs, engineer, working for the state of Indiana. Can we have a little more light? Okay, Khalid. Where is Khalid? Okay. Congratulations, Khalid. I was just so happy that you could come and be with us, and we're so very proud of you. And now it's our joy to introduce to you the Emmy, Tony, Golden Globe, and Screen Actors Guild Award-winning, Detroit-born, and Harvard and Yale graduate, actor and author, husband of Angela Bassett, father and friend, Courtney B. Vance.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here. Susan, are you? Oh, there you are. Oh, you snuck around. Okay. You know, my daddy was a foster child. My daddy died of suicide. And Dr. Robin L. Smith and I just wrote a book called The Invisible Ache about black men and mental wellness and suicide. So put that on your list. It'll bless you. And Susan, whatever we can do, Gilda will let you know whatever we can do to help in the journey that you're on with, and with Angela as well. Whatever we can do, we are, all you got to do is ask. Years ago, we were doing, my wife and I, the first thing that we ever did together was a play, and it was at the Guthrie Theater, His Girl Friday, and we looked up and there was Kefra and Susan, so we will always be indebted to you for showing up. And that's what we want to do. We want to show up. My love and respect, I'm going to get, because I know she said you ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here at 10 o'clock. My love and respect for Susan Taylor runs long and deep, because she has always been at the forefront of finding ways to improve, enhance, and nurture the lives of black community. Don't you love her voice? I could listen to her just talk for, you know, she's not saying much at all, but sometimes she just saying this wonderful, and I said, yes. Whether it's through her working to tell the stories and amplify voices of black women while helming Essence, or by providing hope, inspiration, and spiritual enrichment through the pages of her best-selling books, Susan has done it all. With a love for her people, all of us. You can applaud now. And despite all of her tremendous and notable contributions, Susan's focus on our children through the incredible work of the National Cares Mentoring Movement is it is her most important endeavor. This is because the work of the people of National Cares Mentoring Movement are doing what with youth is a direct reflection of what the future can look like. And that's why I'm here. To uplift this organization's work to support the extraordinary and crucial work that Susan and the National Cares Mentoring team is doing, and to ask that you give generously to an organization of people who are giving so much to make sure that our children have all the resources necessary to build the future, not just for themselves, but also for humanity. As a father of two young people who are about to embark upon the being college, they're going to college, y'all, that's what I'm saying. I got to get off this stage. She told me. Angela and I Angela says hello, by the way. She says hello. You can applaud. Yes, she says hello. Yes. She wanted to make sure, she says hello. Angela, I wholly understand that it takes a village to bring our children into a world that oftentimes sees black, beige, and brown as a threat. Each of you in this room, whether or not you are a parent, are part of the National Cares Mentoring Movement Village. Please give. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Be well. Thank you. I'm off the stage.
Thank you so much, Courtney. And I have to tell you, if you've not read Courtney's new book, The Invisible Ache, you must run to get that book. It is absolutely profound. And Courtney, Invisible Ache, you showed us in that book, because I told you every time I would read, I thought of my Jeffrey. But there's healing in being vulnerable and power too. So Courtney, we thank you for your dedication to all of us. Yes, yes, yes. And there's so much more we must do collectively for our children. Now, this is the moment that we are called. We heard Susan Taylor speak about this, but we are called to reach into the deepest parts of ourselves and recall all that was done for us. So let's be that for our babies now, for the love of our children now. And to help us do that, please join me in welcoming to the stage the brilliant financier. Is that how you say it, financier? I don't know how to say it because I never had one. So the brilliant financier with the even more brilliant heart, Reggie Cannell.
So some of you saw me do this during the Hamptons during the summer. And so I have a little routine I do before I start, right? So the first thing I do, I'm going to come back to you in a second. I got to say a prayer. So there was a poem said, I got to say my prayer. Let's pause 1 second. All right, so Heavenly Father, I'm going to bless Susan Taylor and the team for this great vision. Please allow tonight's participants to donate boldly, freely, without any restrictions. Your account and your bankers won't know tonight. Let the Spirit move them in the next 20 minutes. Reggie Van Lee said I can take an extra 5 minutes to shatter the fundraising targets. So I've got one goal tonight. I've got to raise $200,000 in 20 minutes, okay? 20 minutes. But, I don't gossip. I'm not into gossiping. But somebody told me you making money hand and fist at that show. That's right, talking to you. Susan Taylor told me that. And I recently saw an interview, they're saying that you have 10 requirements to get a man. You said job, 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 and job. Sister, your stakes are too high, come on. All right, now I gotta go see the mentor. Hold on, let me go see the mentor real quick. Can I get some lights? Where's the mentor? Where's the mentor? Come on, I gotta go see the mentor. Because, he's really my mentor. So I got to kiss the ring. Come on, buddy.
I knew it.
And he said, if I fail tonight, I'm never going to work again. All right? Okay, come on. We're not going to make this complicated. Y'all know how it works. Where's Courtney Vance? He said, whatever engine I can do, I'm going to do. All right. I'm going to come to you. We need 10 people to give me $10,000. Let's not. One? Okay, one. We need, Reggie Van Lee, two. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I starting too fast? Oh, hold on. Don't.
Thanks, Reggie. I have a really exciting announcement before we get too far into this. We have a match tonight. We've got the Stardust Fund and Luana Kimbrough offering a match. So, Luana, how much?
We got 50 on it. We'll match the first 50.
Let's be clear. So the first $50,000 you're going to match. Could you do 75, sister? Could you do another 25, please? It's for Susan. Can you do 75,000?
75.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Baby Smith. Okay. You got some more? Angela said, whatever you do, she'll match.
She didn't say that. Ooh, I ain't getting in trouble. $10,000.
10,000. I saw Reggie Van Lee's up. Is somebody keeping track of these numbers? Oh, excuse me. You got something to say?
$10,000.
Bevy Smith got dope. Bevy, come on. Bevy, you know you got... Bevy all's about the coins. Come on, I'm sorry.
I'm all about the coins.
10,000?
I'll raise the money. I'll help you raise the money.
Where's Dr. Trisha? I read a video. You said you're an optimist. You said you never see a pessimist. You always see the bright side. What's up, y'all? Y'all got planes. Y'all got companies. What you got to say?
75,000.
I'm just warming up. Did she say $75,000? So we got the match. Wow! What am I up to? Come on. Keep going. Come on, 10,000. Who give me 10,000? Come on. 10,000? Come on. No more? 10,000? Going once? Lola West? I thought I saw Lola West here. Where's Lola West? 10,000. Philippe? Doreen? 10,000. Okay, should we go to 5? Now, come on, y'all. This is easy. $5,000. Who gave me $5,000? Let's look around the room. Come on. Oh, this is the Reggie Van Lee table. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm going to come back to Reggie in a second. Oh, Mr. Roland Martin. Oh, that's a fly outfit, Roland. Oh, what does that mean? 5,000? So what does that mean? I mean, she counting frats? Oh, challenging frats. How does that work?
You want me to show you how to do that?
Yes. And then I'm going to get to Kathleen Tate in a second.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, what does that mean? 5,000? Oh, 5,000. Are we keeping track? Okay, you're challenging frats. Help me out here.
All right, well, the alpha's in the room. Alphas in the room, raise your hand. So how many alphas want to do 5,000? How many alphas want to do 5,000? What you got? Because you know the rest of the frats broke. So let's go ahead and lead the way. How many? First, what? Y'all in little youth groups, don't worry about it. I'll go ahead and start the alphas with $5,000. That's not a problem. So who else we got? Any other brothers in the room? You got it at 5,000? We had 10,000. Any of the alphas in here? Anybody else? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. All right, next youth group, Kappas. What y'all got? Any Kappas in the room? Any Kappas? Any Kappas? 5,000. Any Kappas at 5,000? Any Kappas at 5,000? Any Kappas at 5,000? Any Omegas at 5,000? One Omega, right? You 5,000? I got 5,000 here. Anybody gonna join your brother at 5,000? All right, there's a second Omega at 5,000. That's 10,000. Any other Omegas? What y'all got? What y'all got? Okay, all right. Any Sigmas in the room? Sharpton left, so y'all got to pick him up. Anybody else? Any Sigmas in the room? Any Iotas in the room? Okay. All right. All you Boule brothers, Sigma Pi Phi. If you in the Boule, don't be, this is your time to be bougie. So if you in the Boulay, raise your hand at 5,000. Any Boulay brothers in the room? I'm already Boulay, so I gave my 5 because I'm an alpha as well. No, I'm going to do this for y'all Boulay. I gave 5 for the alphas. I'll give 5 for the Boulay. So Boulay brothers, where y'all at? Oh, don't let me have to do a roll call of some Boulay people in this room, because I will, because we are also streaming on the Black Star Network, so I will embarrass you. Nobody in the Boulay is going to give $5 grand. That's your cares mentoring. Where you at? Where you at? Anybody? I see anybody? All right, going once, going twice. See, now we about to embarrass. AKAs, $5,000. What AKAs in the room will represent their sorority at 5,000? We got 5,000 right here. Any other AKAs? Anybody else? Anybody else? Now see, I know y'all about to get embarrassed. Deltas in the room. Any Deltas at 5,000? Susan is one of your sorors. Now it's time for y'all to represent. Got a Delta here at 5,000. What else we got? Any other Deltas at 5,000? Say it again. Say it again. Anybody else? Sigma Gamma Rho? Okay, I keep hearing numbers over there, but y'all ain't really committing. Sigma Gamma Rho? Zeta Phi Beta? All right, so we got, what, 10 from the Alphas, 10 from the Kappas, what, 10 from the Omegas? Huh? No, we ain't got done with Sherry. We're going to save up for
No, Sherry.
Because Sherry got renewed. What you got?
Well, look, Sherry, for the single mothers who paying alimony to 2 ex-husbands.
See, you went there.
Does everybody want to be in my wallet?
You went there too early.
I still haven't gotten my paycheck yet, but $5,000 for a single mama.
So that should have been at least 50 grand.
That means I'm not going to be able to get 6 wigs for my show, but all right.
So just in terms of process, you all should have gotten a link on your phone. On the table, there's a QR code. If you don't want to donate now, you can still. We're looking for 100% participation, right? What'd you say? Okay, so we said $2,500. I keep working the room. $2,500. Oh, hold on. Let me get you the mic. Hold on.
We got 1,000, and she mad. We got 1,000.
I just found $10,000 from Comerica Bank tonight. 10 grand.
Oh, I'm feeling. I think I made my number. No, $2,500. Oh, sister, you looking rich. What you got here with the Chanel pins and all type of stuff? What you got? Y'all want to talk about it a little bit?
I started a new Hampton Roads affiliate in Virginia, and oh my God.
We're going to donate $1,000 to the Hampton Roads Cares.
Awesome, $1,000. Come on. This should be easy. $1,000. Come on, folks. That's like a dinner in New York. $1,000. This table. Keep your hands up, please, for the $1,000, and also do the app. $1,000. Okay. Oh. You gonna give another one? Amen to that, sister. Come on. Let's get to this side. Oh, Lola West. I love me some Lola West. Lola West used to have that Merrill Lynch money. Lola started West Fuller Advisors. I know what you did, Lola. What you got, Lola? 5,000? And this brother here, I think you look rich too. What you got?
I'm with Lola.
Oh, she got the 75,000. She's like, brother, you got enough from him. Okay. 5,000 from Lola. Oh, this table, y'all look good at this table. Wow. Oh, man. Susan, am I coming back next year?
Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, $15,000.
Oh, my God.
$15,000. Am I coming this side, or you just waving your hand? I'm here. Something happening, or you're waving? What's 1,000?
Yes.
Thank you. $1,000 over here. Okay, I'm making my final round because we don't want Susan to pay $10,000. Because I gotta go back to the mentor and say, he gotta give me my grade. And what are we up to? 276,000? How'd I do?
You know, you're booked for next year.
Sharon Lopez, y'all told me Tamron Hall's gonna be here with her son Moses. If y'all in the summer, y'all know Moses. Know Tamron Hall this year? Is she on live? She's on screen. Okay, walking the final rounds, $1,000. Y'all looking at me turning away. $1,000. $1,000. And by the way, the insurance, we gotta talk about insurance, Miss Grace. $5,000? Wow, y'all going up.
Yes.
Mama, what you doing? You got the credit card out?
Not through you, but I'm giving.
Bevy Smith got coins, y'all. You know Bevy got a lot of money. Okay, y'all. 1,000? Oh, wow. I was stopping. I'm still going. Reggie Van Lee, I'm going to end with you. You're going to give me my score. 3? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Roland Martin said I can't stop until we get to 300,000. Easy. Come on. 14 people out of $1,000. This is easy. Come on. Oh, okay, here we go. Come on, we're going to close it at 300,000. We had said 100. I went to 3. Man, Mr. Tobias, what you got?
I got 500.
$500. Let's get that. Hello.
I'm at 1,000.
$1,000. Thank you so much. Anybody else? What are we up to? 13 more. 13 people at $1,000. Where's Doreen, Philippe?
Right over here. All the way over here. Were you raising your hand? We got to.
Sorry. I'm coming.
Okay.
I knew I didn't stutter. Kathleen Tate don't say 500. 5,000. Kathleen Tate, 5,000. We love Kathleen Tate. She supports everything. Love Kathleen Tate. Okay. I'm coming back to you, Reggie Van Lee. You're going to, whatever I'm short, you're going to like pony up. I'm coming. Am I coming to you? What'd you do? It's done? Sherry.
Did you get to the 500? Did you do the 500?
We got to 300,000.
Are you going to do the 500?
No, because they said that there's not. We got 300,000, Sherry. I keep going.
But do you want to go to 500 and 100? People, they still have something to give.
Am I still going?
Keep going.
All right.
You get the 500. Okay. Tobias gave 500. Thank you.
$1,000.
Another 1,000. Awesome.
This crowd keeps going up when I go down. I mean, love y'all. Anybody else? $500. $500? $500. Come on, $500. In the back. Did I miss brother interior designer to the stars? What you got? Where's Doreen and Philippe? Where's
500 right here.
$100. Anybody else? In the back? Did I leave anybody out? You want to feel left out? You want to say something on the mic? Going once? Going twice? Wait, I gotta end. Sherry, I'm coming. I just gotta end with the mentor. I gotta get my grade.
You have to go to don't forget the hundreds as well.
$100? $100. You can do it on the app. Oh, wait a minute now. We need silence. The mentor is approaching the mic. How did I do?
Good job. We've got to get out of here in time, so I'll get us to 300, whatever it takes. Well, it's not that much.
We're at 300,000?
Yes, done.
Wow.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Woo, Reggie. Will you give Reggie a hand?
Sharon, will you invite me on the show now? Can I come to the show?
Can you come to the show? After I get a paycheck, yeah. Absolutely. I've never heard an auction begin with a prayer. That's how you do it, Reggie. Because you can blame it on Jesus. I love it. Thank you, Reggie. We made it to $300,000. Give yourselves a hand. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small. This is so wonderful, and your support allows CARES to sustain and grow this love movement, this healing movement, this movement for transformation that tonight's honorees have embraced. And the National CARES Mentoring Movement's North Star Award is named in recognition of Harriet Tubman, our great ancestor who envisioned freedom for all, and she drew upon everything that she had to help make it so. And it is in Harriet Tubman's name that National CARES has presented the award only sparingly and with great consideration. The North Star awardees hail from the many parts of the beautiful expanse of our community. Yet to a person, they are dynamic, determined, and brave visionaries whose deep love for humanity forged ways forward for the many. Now this year, these honorees are all women. Yes. Women of courage, women who, in the great tradition of our ancestors, navigate difficult terrains, smoothing them out for those wise enough to follow their lead. Now this year's honorees, empire builders, wealth creators, and institution shapers are women of compassion and courage. Dr. Trisha Bailey, Susan Taylor Batten, and Grace Vander Cruz. I am so filled with pride, having been given the ability to introduce them all to you here and all of you who are with us online. And I will begin by speaking her name, Dr. Trisha Bailey. Not yet, not yet. Dr. Trisha Bailey, author of Unbroken, the incredible story of her journey from a childhood punctured by pain and poverty, like so many of the children CARES serves. She was once, as a young woman, beaten so badly that she was left comatose. Now that's hardly the lead-in that you'd expect for a woman who, despite all of that harm, became a track star at a D1 school, UConn. And she was a star runner who became a star broker, who became a star entrepreneur, founding some 16 companies, including Bailey's Medical Equipment and Supplies, which ranked number 48 in the nation among all companies providing Medicaid services. And don't even let us get to the properties that she owns and the 46 pharmacies that she has opened. Today, this empire builder, this real estate mogul, this sister has her own plane. Ladies' night. She owns stakes in the Atlanta Hawks, the Charlotte Hornets, and the Phoenix Suns. Trisha Bailey donated the largest sum ever to UConn's athletics department, and a building is in construction in her name. However, Dr. Trisha Bailey defines herself more often as a dedicated mother of 5 very beautiful children and a philanthropist determined to secure children who knew the pain that she once knew. So what did poet Jessica say at the top of the evening? That sisters are the original goats. No lies detected. And no more waiting for you to meet Dr. Trisha Bailey.
What an amazing honor. I have traveled the roads far and wide across the world and back. As a young girl with no resources and no opportunities, the only thing that I had was my dreams. Dreams so big that not even you believe that these dreams can come true, my grandmother told us. And as I embark on the world and find in my footsteps, I find my place in spaces where people told me that I will not become. I'm not good enough. You will not accomplish. In junior year in high school, I went to my guidance counselor and I told her that I wanted to apply to college, and she said, "You're not college material." And I left her office thinking, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And today, I see myself in these young people, these young boys and girls who struggles and hear the no's, and you're not good enough, and you cannot become. And I know that with national cares, when you care, anything is possible. You create a world of opportunities for yourself and others, and the Barack Obamas of the world are being developed in national cares. The Oprah Winfreys, the Susan Taylors, the Trisha Baileys are being developed. The philanthropists and the CEOs and the billionaires and trillionaires, and I am excited and I am committed to continue to doing the work that God has ordained me to do, and I will continue to place my mark on the world, on those children, because they deserve us. They deserve to be cared for. Thank you.
Can you please give a hand to Dr. Trisha Bailey? Oh my goodness. I meant it on that plane, Trisha Bailey, the ladies' night. Can we go? Now, let me tell you about this next fierce sister, Susan Taylor Batten. She began serving as president and CEO of the Association of Black Foundation Executives in 2009. The association was founded in 1971 as an all-volunteer membership organization during the height of the Black Power movement, when many will somebody help me with that word, please? Philanthropies. I probably could say that word better on a plane, a private plane, drinking some champagne, girl. Philanthropies that once had supported the civil rights movement waned. ABFE took on the work of centering the needs of Black communities and working with resource institutions and people to do likewise. There are lobbyists on the philanthropic hill. And 50 years later, in 2020, when a new generation of young activists called the nation to a reckoning with itself about the racial harms that ended too many Black lives out of season, Susan Taylor Batten was there in the trenches, encouraging people of means to provide support to young people who were literally risking their lives to ensure the lives of others. But that support took a giant step back only a year later, as the nation became further divided and the voices and power of those who opposed diversity and inclusion guardrails took hold. Black activists were being regularly threatened and terrorized by people who use social media as a weapon. Susan Taylor Batten was one of their targets because when key supporters started pulling back, she doubled down on the mission to ensure transformative investment in Black communities in need. She's pushing for right-sized support for HBCUs and advocacy and service organizations that serve poor Black communities. Susan Taylor Batten has faced enemies and friends alike, and before all of them chose just one thing: the truth. This is hard work that was done from a place of pure love and advanced by a rare kind of courage that often goes unnamed and unnoticed, but changes the lives of people, including those who are members of ABFE, ensuring their emotional and spiritual wellness during healing retreats, so that these first responders are able to keep going even during the darkest of nights. So what else is there to say about this shero who works to ensure transformative investment into communities where it is most needed? Except, everyone please welcome North Star honoree, Susan Taylor Batten, a warrior for the community.
Thank you so much for this recognition. I am a bit overwhelmed. This is amazing, and you all are just so supportive of all of us women of courage. Our mission at AbbVie is to promote effective and responsive philanthropy in Black communities. And I want to talk to the folks in the room that are in foundations and corporate giving programs that are pushing for investments in programs like National Care's mentoring movement. I want to tell you that we see you. I see you. Because you're working in many ways in organizations that are not diverse and that do not prioritize our community. The audience should know that of the billions of dollars that come out of foundations in this country and corporate giving programs in this country, less than 2% goes to Black communities. You should know that. And so those of you that are pushing for investments in National Care's mentoring and programs like this, you are the courageous ones, and I want to thank you for the work that you do. We can't leave the well-being of our kids to foundations and corporations, though. What just happened in this room is what has to happen every time we are together, because we have the resources to take care of our children, our young people. We can't leave it to anybody else. So everybody just ensure that we continue to dig in our pockets, invest in this organizations and organizations like this. Just a thanks again to Susan and Stephen and the full team. My entire family is here. I want to thank my family because I could not be courageous without y'all, I swear. I want to thank my girlfriends, my sorors from Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Beta Chapter, Fisk University, for being here. I want to thank my friends from AbbVie, my colleagues as well. And most importantly, I want to thank that gorgeous man over there, my husband, Bob Batten. And simply put, Bobby, without you, I could not be courageous. Thank y'all. Thank you very much.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, right here. Give a hand to Susan Taylor Batten. You're absolutely incredible, sis. We're so grateful for the work that you do and the dedicated woman that you are. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Susan. And now I am honored to turn you over to Grace Vandercruz. A woman who literally does it all. The wisdom, choices, and faith it took for you to achieve all you have is beautifully captured in your powerful book, Homeless to Millionaire, that not only tells your own story, but provides critical financial advice to your readers. But let me share with y'all just a little bit about Miss Grace, who is a licensed sailor and a top-tier mountain climber. I know you heard it right. She climbs mountains. She has scaled some 25 peaks across the globe. Get to the top of Kilimanjaro? Oh, she already got that. Sail the oceans wide? No problem. Start your own financial services firm? Why not? Thought this former investment banker who founded Grace Global Capital. Grace Vandercruz has facilitated more than $25 billion in insurance transactions. This is an area, yes, give her a hand, $25 billion. And this is an area of finance that is deeply personal to her, because as a young woman in a family of 9, where there were more mouths than money, she knows how good insurance might have kept her family from having to live in a shelter after a devastating fire destroyed their apartment. Grace emerged from that difficult period ever more determined to rise, literally phoenix-like. She earned her MBA from the Wharton School of Business. Then she soared into the financial services industry, and she made it her mission to help vulnerable families, the steepest mountain our nation has to climb. So Grace, come up here and tell us your secrets. Mrs. Grace Vandercruz.
This is the moment that I know I stand on the giant shoulders of my mother, who is in hospice at this moment. But in her grace, her compassion, and her indomitable spirit, it has sustained me. All of her wisdom, all of her prayers, and all of her love has made me what I am today. And I'm standing here by no accident. I really want to thank God above, because miracles happen and I'm a walking, talking miracle. Special thanks to my handsome husband, my family who's here, the companies that have supported me, the Doctors Company, Resolution Life, the Insurance Supper Club, and all of my colleagues who are here. Hands that serve are holier than lips that pray. Those words stirred my soul. In me, something changed that day. Count me in, Susan. Because of your words, I heard care is more than just an action that speaks louder than words. Care is conviction over convenience. Care is courage over comfort. Care is resilience over resistance. Thank you. In fact, every time I see a child and look into his or her eyes, I know that every act of service, every moment of compassion, every action that we take and steps we take to uplift communities, open possibilities, open their hopes and their dreams to dream better and more than their circumstances. In fact, we're in the room as caretakers of their dreams. We're in the room to guide their flight. We're in the room to ease their hurt and to erase their shame. Hands that serve are holier than lips that pray. Care brought you here. And in this moment and in this movement, let's heed the care, let's heed the call, and remember, support her children, because every time we uplift our children, our ancestors share.
Please give a hand to Grace Vandercruz. Grace, thank you so much for bringing all of your gifts and your brilliance and all you do to this sacred work of caring for our children. So would you give it up one more time for Dr. Tricia Bailey, Grace Vandercruz, and Susan Taylor Batten. We proudly honor you for carrying the torch and for keeping the fire lit, for answering our children's call. And as I ask, I just gotta say, I just gotta take a minute to say, I'm so proud to be a Black woman. To be amongst all of you, I've never hosted a fundraiser where we came together and brought so much money us. Thank you. Thank you. Like you said, Grace, we are the caretaker of our children's dreams. So thank you. $296,000. And you came together and you did it. And I'm thankful to be a part of a sisterhood that young brown girls and boys can look up to. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And another thing I want to say before I bring up the King of Swoon, I got to tell you, black women, y'all age so well. I done met more 78-year-olds, 90-year-olds, 67-year-olds. Everybody look like they're 35. Susan Taylor, I know we're not supposed to tell your age, but damn it, you look like you 37 years old, Susan Taylor. You glide. We got to go to a club because I know you can get lit, Susan. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. It is like, literally, everybody looks so young. We could be 92 and look like we 20. It's like some kind of air. What are we breathing? I cannot get over it. I'm 56 years old. I feel, look, yes, I am. I'll tell you something. And any young ones in here, any young girls, you can make a difference. You can. But I love being around my sisters who are seasoned because it's always, a lot of people look at it like, oh my gosh, I'm this age. But it's not like that. You got to look at it like, what's next? What now? Now what? So thank you. This has been such a pleasure and an honor to be here. And to end it, I got to ask our King of Swoon, our R&B superstar, Kenny Lattimore, to take the night away before we have some delicious dessert together and a moment to dance. And I want to thank our entire online community. So I would ask that you would enjoy the incredible Kenny. Kenny, you done made many babies with that song, boy. You know this. You done got people through many, many marriages. So y'all, please give it up. Also to our fabulous DJ, Deja, thank you so much. And know that I am grateful to have been a part of this magical, meaningful evening. And I know as my brother takes the stage that it is within our power to show our children that they are safe. As Susan reminds us, they are safe in our care. Now, Kenny Lattimore, get up here and do what you do.
Woo! For the love of our children. For the love of our children. You gave out of your hearts. And you gave sacrificially, I'm sure. And some of you just had what you had, but you gave out of the authenticity of love. And the song that I'm about to sing, I've stripped down everything just to piano voice because I want you to hear the lyrics. If you've heard the song before, I want you to hear it differently tonight. Because it's a song that really lets you know that the kind of love that our children deserve is in this song.
For you, I'd give a lifetime of stability. Anything you want of me. Nothing is impossible for you. There are no words or ways to show my love, or all the thoughts I'm thinking of. 'Cause this life is no good alone. Since we've become one, I've made a change. And everything I do now makes sense. All the roads end, all I do is for you. For you, I share a cup of love that overflows, and anyone who knows us knows There is no low or high or in between of my heart that you haven't seen. 'Cause I share all I have, and then nothing I've said is hard to understand. All I feel deeper still, and always will see. All this love is for you. Every note that I play, every word I might say, every melody I feel is only for you and your appeal. Every page that I write, every day in my life, it would not be filled without the things that my now brings, yes. For you, I'd make a promise of fidelity, now and for eternity. And see, no one could replace this vow for you. I take your hand and heart and everything, and add to them everything. See, this life is no good alone. Since we've become one, you're all I know. And if this feeling should lead, I die. And here's why. All I ask is for you. Everything I do now makes so much sense. Oh, then, all I do is for you. Only for you.
Thank you so much. Now, I got some instructions, and our time has come to a beautiful end. If you don't mind standing, because we're getting ready to leave this place. We're not getting charged no money over that. All this money is going to go to the children. I thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, Susan Taylor. Thank you, everyone who has put this event on and allowed me to be here to sing. I'm going to sing us out of here. We're going to kind of dance our way out to the other party, because we're going to still party, right? We're going to hang out. Yeah? Okay. Hey! Come on, grab your purse and come on, and grab your jacket and come on. We're getting out of here, y'all. We're going to have some more fun. What a good feeling to know that I get someone so perfect. It's like paradise, girl, in a minute. So let go of your worries tonight. Yeah. Tonight we can go all the way.
please enjoy the dessert bar next door. Please go grab some food.